I could listen. You are in control of everything, and you've chosen to launch the show with a mouthful of maybe the last bit of pizza that you've got there. Is
I
that
still
what
have a
happened
little
here?
bit left, but I'm not gonna eat it. I've had a day
You're gonna
full of
eat it.
football and Far Cry, so I was like,
Yes.
I gotta get
Ooh.
something in. I thought my wife was gonna bring some sort of food or back from her shopping
Yeah.
excursion, but
Mhm.
she's yet to show up, and no food has showed up. So I threw something, old pizza, leftover
Food
pizza.
and Far Cry, man.
Yeah,
You're just
football,
effing
food, and
it
Far
right
Cry.
up. You love it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so jealous, man. I've
Hey,
gone
Sean.
on a journey with Far Cry. Donnie, it's been a while, man. You've
It feels like that, hasn't it?
well, I think it actually has. I think it more than just feels like it. I feel like
It's been a
we
month.
put- yeah, we are doing basically what we set out to do. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we wanted to have more time for ourselves.
It's funny. I had to
do the
go and
thing.
scroll and scroll and scroll in
know.
the PSVG DLC feed to find the last one.
Yeah.
Because I think that makes it feel like it's been longer. Because it's just,
Oh,
'cause
yeah.
I don't think you and I count it in days. I think we count it in shows.
Right.
Like we've recorded so many shows since the last time we recorded.
Oh man, yeah,
Yeah.
Ugh.
Mhm.
Yeah. You're right. And yeah, because we have these constant updates with everybody else. How are you? And it's
Yeah.
not even just what's on the show. Of course, we all know
Yeah.
this.
Because I mean, theoretically, it really wasn't that long ago. We had a podcast together like 28 days ago. It's
Yeah.
not that long.
I know. I don't know. We used to do it every 7 days.
That's true.
We used to do 4 in this time.
That's true.
We used to have every every nuance of our lives. This is the whole. Now I'm talking to my parents more than you, and that's the difference.
Mm.
Like before it was I was talking
That's
to you
probably
way
a
more
good
than talking
trade.
to my parents. It's fine.
Brendan showing up. What's up, man?
Freaking Brendan Myers here. I love it.
He's the
man. Well,
best.
honestly, dude is like full-time job supporting all of us.
Yeah,
Like he
kind of.
really owns it. Like we really need to do something for him. And there's
Super
many people
fan.
like him. Honestly, super fan. Like we got to get a cape or something for these people.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing this terrible thing lately, Donnie, where I'm just like I've got ideas and no time. Like I want to do all these things and I
Speaking
got
of another
no time.
super fan,
Freaking
What's up,
Trucker
Trucker?
Sloth, dude, right there. Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you, Trucker Sloth, man. Thinking about
that
you all the
doesn't
time.
surprise me because
Yeah.
I've been listening to the Nintendo Drive,
Mm-hmm.
and honestly, it's not a new occurrence. I used to always kind of check in like when it was
Yeah.
topical, but now I've been
Right.
listening,
Yeah.
and in my own head, not that I don't think you record a whole lot more than me, but in my head, I'm like, how does Sean do it? Like, how
Yeah.
does he keep doing it? Like,
I'm
I know
barely
that
hanging on. I honestly am barely hanging on at this
I
moment.
set I set Sweet Hangs off onto this path, but I feel like I did you a favor as well.
oh yeah, like there's no doubt. Although like the funny thing is on the weekend it is nice. Like right now, like and I just have the greatest wife who's just like, yeah, do your
Of course.
podcast.
Yeah, everybody
Like go
loves
do the
Chelsea.
thing. Like she is incredible, and I'm just like, just doing it now. Like she's
Sure.
up with the kids. She's got she's round the clock, man. So yeah, like it's probably less hard to do on the weekends. Like we actually had a really perfect spot, and I can't fill up my entire weekend with podcasting.
Sure.
But we established the expectation there, and it was actually all good. It's during the week that is the trickiest part for me.
That's when it
you
gets
know,
busy.
I think so. Yeah. Like, and just my day is work,
Yeah.
and then dinner, and then put the kids to bed, and then my
Sure.
evening starts. And it's just that, then the ever constant trade-off, and it's all it's all up to me. Do I want to stay up, or do I want to catch up on some sleep? And I don't want to catch up on some sleep. I would prefer to not sleep ever.
There's too
be
much to
honest
play.
with you. There's too much to play. There's too much to do. There's too much opportunity, especially with both of our Patreons. I just think that you and I are like, our communities are supporting us, and they love the content that we're putting out. And for whatever reason, I just went to Toronto last week, and something happens to my brain when I travel. And I think for the most part, it's because I'm not doing anything else. I can't do anything. I don't have internet. I can't do what I'm typically doing. I'm generally not working.
Forces you to focus.
I can think about stuff. Well, yeah, I can scheme, I can plan, I can come up with these ideas, and
Where's your whiteboard?
man, it's a notebook in that sense. Like I am like running out of ink with my pens on these flights, man. It happens every time, and I'm going to New York again soon. But it'll be a red eye going on. Yeah, get the pen out. Dude, I talked to Dano last night, and he's like, we're scheduling our recording. It was supposed to be on Monday, and he's like, "I've got things to talk about." And in Donnie's words, "I have notes. I have
notes." Nice.
So it's an amazing episode of We the Gamer Cast because it's basically like he was the host. He's like,
I'll have to listen to that.
Oh my god, it's so funny.
I'll have to listen to that. Yeah, because I only bring notes when I really care. There are things that I really care, and I'm like, all right, I'm not just gonna hit the mic and just start talking. Like, let's focus on what I want to say.
And you have written notes, or do you have like your phone?
I write them down.
Yeah, that's what I'm with, man. I might even need to get like a small, like one of those.
I have a little notebook.
Like even small, like I've got this is not a large notebook. Like you see kids with like these giant kind of like coiled things. Yeah, I need something like that. Yeah, or even like the police officer kind of flip chart. Yeah, size is everything. Form factor is everything.
Little thoughts.
I can't be bothered to be like fiddling around with my smartphone to do exactly what, like, it's very convenient. It's always in my pocket. Google like Notes or Google Docs is great.
I hate typing on my phone.
But I can't stand typing on my phone.
Yeah, I miss buttons. It's the same reason why, like, I do like 95% of all of my communication comes from a keyboard.
Yeah, same.
I've even set up my whole family. One of the things that I hated most about going to the iPhone was that I don't have universal messages like I enjoyed so much on Android.
Right, yeah.
So I actually set up an app that has a PC client, and I put the app on all of my family's phones. And it's basically like a talk to your dad app, just so I can text from my keyboard instead of using my phone. Yeah. And my daughter hates it. She's like, why don't you just FaceTime and use iMessage like everybody else in the world? And I'm like, yeah, because I hate using this phone.
Donnie.
I'm like anti-phone. Kind of anti-phone.
Dude, lately I've just been bringing my laptop around with me, which is why I wanted to have it as a small laptop. I was fooled in my younger days, man. I wanted the biggest screen.
I can't write 2 tweets without making a mistake on my iPhone, but I can write 400 of them from my keyboard and never miss one thing.
Yeah, and it's this, and with show preparation for like the Nintendo Drive, especially, like what I'm trying to do and be better about is like when something pops up on Twitter or something, I'm just trying to like copy that in there and paste it onto my notes. I'll figure it out later and flush it out and what it's actually going to say. And that is like such a pain in the butt. Like pasting on a phone, like selecting and pasting and just like I got to tap it and hopefully the options pop up at the beginning.
That's what I do. Like when I'm playing Far Cry or something and I really want to talk about it, I'll just take down a little idea. And then I'll flesh it out before.
I'm gonna have to just go order some of these notepads because I just need it.
Or index cards. I do index cards at work.
Ooh.
I have a bunch of different colored index cards, and I'll jot down a note and I'll put it up on my desk or my wall.
I like that a lot, and that translates well into your coverage, man. You do well with that kind of stuff. I like that a lot. Far Cry I've been on a journey with, man, and I've actually enjoyed listening to you talk about it because
I've been playing it. I'm playing it today.
Yeah, and it's like. This is why I wanted to just get away from the whole embargo scene, because I'm like, as soon as I escape from that and just kind of go, let me just run around and blow shit up. I'm like, I'm having fun. There is no way around it. Like I'm having fun.
It's funny. I think often when I really like a game, I immediately jump into like how does this fit in my game of the year list?
Right.
And I was quick to not dismiss Far Cry. Right. But I was quick to be like, Far Cry is good, but it's not game of the year, right?
Yeah, I'm not goaty. Yeah.
But then I'm sitting there like 70 hours later and I'm still playing it for hours on end. And I'm like, how does that work?
Totally. And that's what I feel like that's what Coach would say about like sports games and things like that. Yeah. Like really anything that kind of dominates people's times. Like why isn't that?
Yeah, because your game of the year, at least for us, like we strive to really make it our favorite game of the year.
Right. Yeah.
And it's weird because it's in a lot of ways, like I would respect something like Ratchet or maybe even Metroid more than Far Cry for what they're doing. But do I like those games more than Far Cry?
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
I'd be lying to you and everyone else if I said that I did. I don't.
Yeah. Metroid kind of kicked the shit out of both of us, didn't it?
Dude, I didn't finish. I took.
You never went back, huh?
Kind of your advice. I got to the last boss. I died. So I finished.
The numbers you're saying the number of times you died are like minuscule, like a fraction of how many times I died.
Okay, so here's
for you. Your threshold's better than mine.
Long story short, I got to what was that last boss? Okay, the big giant boss. You know, like the Gears of War gigantic boss that you fight. Yep. I died at that dude 20, 30 times. Like wanted to throw my Switch out the window. Yeah. I was so tired of playing it. So that almost broke me. But I got through. But the problem is that wore my patience so thin.
Yeah.
that I had to fight the gold-plated spear dude.
Mm-hmm.
He killed me like 5 or 8 times before I got through.
Mm-hmm.
Then I had to fight like armor bug that I could not figure out how to get out of the way of.
Yeah. Right.
And he killed me, I don't know, 7-10 times.
Yeah.
And then by the time I reached the final boss,
Mm-hmm.
I was over it. I was basically doing it out of, I don't know, devotion, or
You're
like
just
I just
there. You're
I just
right
owed
there.
it to my, like I did not want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
I get to the final boss, I take one crack at him, die almost, I wouldn't say instantly, very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I go, okay, I'm going to learn from that, get to the second phase, died instantly, and I was like, I'm done. I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not going to sit here and die 30 times again. I'm done. I've had enough. That's it. I don't know what it is. Because I got a lot of thoughts on this.
I got notes.
Well, I don't have notes about this, but here's the thought swirling around my head the entire time. It's like, how bad am I at video games?
Yes.
Everybody I know has beat this.
Rebecca beat it.
Everybody's
beaten
it. Everybody that I know has beaten it. Jason beat it in like 6 hours. Zenith over there, he beat it in 2 hours.
Dude,
everybody has beaten this game.
Just pisses me off. Like it doesn't include like the number.
It makes me feel like I don't have a muscle or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm good at games.
Yeah.
Like I can play Mario Kart with any of these folks. I've beaten several of these folks at Smash. I've gone through all the way through Golf Story. Golf Story has stumped others. Like I don't understand what it is. And everybody, even on our own chat, they were like, Donnie, if you beat the giant boss, like the final boss is easy. Like, what are you talking about?
I know. This easy.
It's not.
Like,
the same thing happened to me with Hollow Knight, and I just feel I feel inadequate.
I feel like my frustration is less with myself and more with like that double jump. The double jump is the worst double jump in video games. Like, I'm sorry for any game that has like, let's just line up a list of games with the double jump. It's the worst one. It's actually right there with Sonic. Like Sonic also has, whenever Sonic does have like a little like, ooh, you can jump a little higher. Like it's terrible in Sonic as well. Just awful. Absolutely terrible.
I don't know if it's like they just grew up playing those games, but it's because I've played those games.
Seems to be
like,
the difference.
There's not that many of them though. It's not like they've played 100 more of those games than I have. They haven't. I don't know what it is, man.
Tony Baker seems to have walked away from. He says he's 80% through and he's not going back.
Wow. So you know what, Tony? Thank you. We'll start a Metroid Anonymous group for each other, because everybody that I've met has basically just shamed me. They're like, well, you know, you just suck at games. Yeah. I'm like, but I guarantee you I don't.
There's a couple, and the thing is that there's a couple phases in that final boss that demand the double jump.
Yeah.
It's like there's no way around it. Like you're using a whole bunch of tools and everything.
And demand like perfection.
Yeah.
Is there like an exploit or a cheat or a shield or a suit or something that I don't know about?
I mean, I went for, I think it ended up with 74% of the items in the end. So I had missiles, I had shields.
I had 150 some missiles.
Oh yeah, like 200 plus. So like I wasn't struggling with that.
So you had a lot more than I did.
And that kind of, I padded my time just to like, I enjoyed running around the world and finding the stuff. Like for the
I was at the final boss at 12 hours.
Yeah, I think I was somewhere around there too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I tried and I didn't like it, and it, you know, it does sour my takeaway from the game as a whole. Like I think it does Metroid very well. I think it's a Metroid-ass Metroid game.
Oh,
you know, like it's really, really good at being a Metroid game. And just
I picked up the 3DS game in Toronto.
Samus Returns.
Yeah, I haven't found one. It's actually still in the wrapper.
See, I beat that game, and I didn't have anywhere near the trouble beating that game that I had with this game. Yeah, I didn't die anybody in that game 10 times.
Same developer and everything, man.
I don't.
You had fast travel in this game though? Was that the
Me
case?
and Jason raced that game. Like we played that thing like in 3 days together. We were right on each other's tails, sending each other notes.
Might have to bring my 3DS.
That's what I don't understand. Like, if I can do that, how do I just get to this? And I'm like, I feel like Hollow Knight. Like I'm just at a point in the game that I can't continue, and everybody else can.
I feel like this brings us to a point that I actually want to talk to you about with like your relationship with Nintendo, your relationship with the Nintendo Shack.
It's a touchy subject.
Well, and that's why I mean, if it's okay, like, because okay, so maybe I'll start here rather than.
Did you see Rebecca snap on me the other day?
I did.
Okay.
So like, I don't know if we want to dive directly into that. I don't know, whatever we want to do. But here's my comment on that. So like, because I struggle sometimes about this, where you're right. you went through this Metroid game, you played it, you beat it, and didn't have any sort of like the same trouble that you had with the new Metroid game.
I wouldn't even have called struggle. I didn't even like Death's Door was way more challenging than Samus Returns.
So how does that like, you know, I
beat
like
Kenna.
This is why I appreciate
How do I beat Kenna and I can't beat Metroid?
This is why I appreciate your take on reviews of games, because I feel like if you're sort of like this blinded Nintendo fan or somebody who just knows Metroid like to an nth degree, that it almost overrules like somebody like you or me, like in our take on the game. Like maybe our take is that some of the design doesn't lend itself to an enjoyable experience. And I think that's an okay thing to say. And I feel like
I've heard some reviewers say that. I think design-wise, I think the game does a really good job of like shuffling you along kind of to the right area.
Yep.
I got off path a lot. But I always did kind of, once I found a way through, I always kind of ended up at the next elevator. You know, so like I never was ever like completely lost.
Sure. Yeah, level design wise.
Design, like the design of the world was good, but like the enemy design, I don't mind the games that are hard. I don't
totally.
You know, like the Souls games and Hollow Knight and those. Like, I'm glad that they're hard. They're just not for everybody.
So, and it is hard to say this game kicked my butt without getting greeted with a bunch of tweets going like, "Get good, bro."
Yeah, especially if you're an influencer or somebody that values your opinion, or you have a podcast or something. It is hard. I've often done it. I got the same kind of treatment when I declared that I was done with Hollow Knight. I cannot beat the Soul Master in Hollow Knight. He has killed me 100 times. I've tried it over and over again. I quit.
I think that what are they like? Kind of like checkpoints or bosses? Like,
but you know, like I appreciate the folks that love that. Because we have several folks in our Discord, like they are here for that in video games. Like that's what they want from their game. That is the part that I can't, like I appreciate it. That's the part that I just can't, I don't have any connection to that feeling. You know, like when games beat me up, it's like, I don't want to do this. Isn't fun. Like, I don't like this. That's the disconnect is I'm like, I don't understand how you like this. Like, it's so much fun to die over and over and over.
And I have a different kind of threshold depending on, I guess, the game or just the design of it. I haven't quite nailed down exactly what it means. Like where I jump into a game like Bloodborne, I'm like, this is great. I think this is awesome.
Yeah. People love Bloodborne. Yeah.
Right. I know this game is kicking my butt, but like, I'm here for it and I enjoy it. And then I play a game like Metro. I'm like, I'm mad at the game. Like
I just think I don't have any patience.
It's going to be case by case. Like Contra is a hard as shit game, and I'm like, this is stupid. Sometimes like, it's just ridiculous. and so, but I don't know how to reconcile that. I do play games like that are going to kick my butt, and then other times, so I don't know. Maybe it's a combination of a bunch of things.
It's just a love for the IP,
and maybe, yeah. I mean, that could definitely.
You're willing to put up a lot if you just love Samus and Metroid.
Oh yeah,
you know, like you're just so happy for it to be there.
It brought me along for the ride, like you said. Like I loved the way that this game opened up and it started, and the
animation design, the world design. Like I do think I you know what I might. It's not my favorite Nintendo Switch game of the year, but I might like clearly consider it's definitely one of the best Nintendo Switch games. Probably the last 2 years.
Like. Man,
probably the last 2 years.
Like right up there with the Astral Chain, would you say?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a standout from what they've been putting out for the last 18 months. Hasn't been, you know, if you don't like Skyward Sword is Skyward Sword, you know, Clubhouse
I enjoyed
games,
it. I've had a great year with Nintendo.
Monster Hunter.
Monster Hunter, I didn't spend nearly enough time with. Like that was a $80 purchase that probably should have spent more time with, and that was a big. I needed performance out of it. Like that was a bit of a check for me. Like I'd love to be able to say to you, you know, I'll play games if they're good. I'll play them at whatever frame rate. And it's like, well, I played Tales the entire way through. Your favorite Nintendo Switch game is going to be Death's Door, says Brendan Meyer.
Death's Door is my game of the year currently.
Yeah.
I will tell you, I feel like this is really fast and like hasty because I've only been playing them the last couple of days.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been playing my two favorite Switch games of the year this week.
Oh, really?
And Dusk, which is excellent.
Oh.
And Mario Party, which is excellent.
Dude, thank you. I haven't played enough to really jump into it.
It's so good. Like it's like Mario Party Ultimate. It's the greatest hits. It's amazing. Finally
celebrating history.
I'll never need another Mario Party game again. Like this is the Smash Ultimate of Mario Parties. It's like, thanks. You did it. Let's let me play this Mario Party for 10 years.
I will say that my kids are a little too young for the mini games. unfortunately. Like they're actually pretty tricky. Like, and it's just like they want to play. They're like, let's play Mario Party.
Yeah, but they're like
jump in
30 seconds. Just let them grab the controller and run around.
Pretty much. So we'll be able to like have half an hour here and there and play some. But I want to have that couch co-op thing, so it'll be there for us in the future.
I feel like it's early.
Yeah.
Because I've only played them a couple of days, but I tell you, after a couple of days, I'm like, this is the most fun I've had on my Switch in a long time.
It's really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't have a connection with every single Mario Party there, but just seeing like the representation there. And even when you play, like, even just setting up like your player ID, like the little card. Yeah. It's like, pick your favorite Mario Party game and your mini games. You can have an assortment there. Very, very cool, man. Yeah. They did a good job with it. Finally.
I agree.
I haven't done multiplayer yet. I haven't done online.
I doubt I will. I'm sure we'll try to get it together one night, but I mean, I just don't do much multiplayer.
I mean, Extra Life, it'll be sort of
that'd be a good time for it.
That was a big reason why I wanted to buy it.
If you and Kevin and Josh and them get a game going, I'll jump in with you guys for at least. I'll hang out on chat with you guys for a little bit.
Yeah. I missed one of your invites to play Far Cry together, but I want to jump in if you're still interested. I'd love to
I'm still playing.
Do a little the like what are they, special ops or spec ops kind of thing.
To be honest with you, I wasn't even inviting you to do those. I was just wondering if you wanted to hang out while we played Far Cry.
Yeah, I should. I think you and I are similar in this way. Where like sometimes, and I don't know, it's like some nights you just want to not.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, and I feel like you and I are good on that front, where it's like you don't have to make up an excuse like, oh, I'm busy doing something else. Yeah. It's just like I just don't want to.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the pinnacle of friendship.
No harm. It's one of those things where I always realize when I'm up late at night, I know that you're usually gaming.
Yeah.
So I usually just ping you like, hey, if you just want to hang out, like I'm playing Far Cry. Far Cry is such a great game to do that with.
Yeah.
Just chat on the phone while you're playing Far Cry. It's
just blowing stuff up.
Yeah.
And I think at that particular time, I was having some trouble with that game. And so Ryan and I, it's funny because Ryan plays games totally differently than me. And
I remember he kept talking. What was it? Xbox Drive. He said the stealth is so OP in this game.
Yeah.
Why would you not play anyway? And I'm like, you're missing the whole point.
Absolutely. It was fun. Playing in front of him was hilarious. He's just like, he must have been like ripping his hair out. He was like, what are you doing? And I'm like, couldn't be more opposite to his approach. There's like one mission that he was saying he was having some trouble with. And I think it was because he was going after stealth. And characters kept coming and spawning and over again. I'm like, I'm just blowing them up. I've got grenades over here. I've got my firecrackers over here.
I enjoy going in silent every once in a while. Like I did the mission today where you have to hack like 2 computers simultaneously.
Yes.
And I did that entire silently. And it was a lot of fun.
Oh, wow.
But at the same time, the majority, it's like they didn't give me 12 rocket launchers and 13 grenade launchers and all of these super weapons and these powerful, supers to walk around with my little silent gun machete killing people.
Seriously.
Like that's not what the game's about.
Yeah, I actually need to. I might need to. I wish there were. I think you guys talked about this too. Like, I wish there was loadouts. I would love to just have like an explosive loadout.
Constantly,
like
I'm constantly swapping back and forth and back and forth and back. It's just a pain in the ass.
Yeah, there's a ton of stuff to go through. Even just being able, like, I might have missed it, but I don't think there's a way to like tag something as like a favorite. So like I've actually lost one of the rifles I like.
What I've been doing is I've been spray painting the guns that I like.
Smart. Oh, I like that a lot.
Because I'm not like spray painting everything I have because who cares? But the ones that I like, I spray paint so I can quickly identify them in the menus.
Yeah, that's really smart. And that's
like, these are my go-tos.
Oh, that's really good. And a couple of my favorites have been the unique ones, which come spray painted or they come so those kind of get lost.
That shotgun, do you have the Cartomancer? That thing is dope.
Yeah, man. I mean, it reminds me of Doom 2 a little bit.
Kinda.
Sometimes. They just go.
Yeah, they just go flying. It's fantastic.
Yeah, whether or not I'm not sure if the physics is supposed to work that way or if like I'm tripping some sort of bug, but they just kind of go in a hilarious way.
I wish, Brendan. I got to do another horror movie and help the kids prepare for tomorrow. So I'm a little booked tonight.
Yeah, Chelsea has a shoot actually after this that she's gonna go take care of, and I think we're gonna carve some pumpkins with the kiddos.
Nice.
But I'm really looking forward to that. Like Chelsea is just like she's killing it with Halloween this year, dude. The kids have had like 14 different costumes. Like yesterday, they're dressed up with like custom Tanuki costumes. She made like the ears and she cut them and they poke out of the hat. She made these tails that are really good. Like they're really fuzzy and two tones. They're out there. They're on the interwebs. They're in the Discord.
I gotta check that more often.
I'll send them to you, man. they're so impressive. And then today, over the last like week or so, she's been working on this costume for Squid Game, which I haven't been watching, but she did. Apparently the entire world has watched this thing. She 3D printed like this mask.
You need to get her on TikTok.
Honestly.
So she can do little videos of that and have like 100,000 people like her and get paid really money and stuff.
Yeah.
I follow so many people that do cool stuff that I can't do like that.
Yeah. The 3D printing, like it took her a while to really get it started, but now that she's got it locked down, she's good, man. It takes a long time. She sets a print and it's like, this print is 17 hours. And so it'll be running here in the basement. And it's all these like really, I don't know if you've ever got into 3D printing. There's so many like things that can go wrong, and which I didn't realize. Like I'm just aware of paper.
I've never done it.
It's ridiculous. She's like, sometimes you got to like spray some hairspray on it, or sometimes you got to like make sure that the whole thing is level. Sometimes it matters like how bright the room is. It's like all these ridiculous. I don't know if she's testing humidity in the space. Like it's just outrageous, and it matters. And she's building all her stuff, man. She's
that sounds hard.
It sounds like,
and I'm too
not
lazy
worth it
for
that. But we're on the other end of the spectrum where we'll do this and we'll edit and produce and all that other stuff.
Sure.
So
yeah,
it's so good to have. I don't know. For me, it's so good. Like Chelsea and I talk about this a lot, where we both have like other things to be interested in. We're never like looking at the other person going like, what are you doing? Because I don't have anything going on. Like, so I'm going to drag you down with me.
Because I can tell you that my wife does that to me constantly.
Oh, I can't.
It drives me nuts. It drives me nuts.
Yeah. Like when
her whole family, it's like a trait of theirs. My kids have it too. They're very, I don't know. They would call it inquisitive, nosy, curious, whatever you want to call it. But they're constantly like, what's that?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Where are you going?
Yeah.
Like they just constant questions.
Which I think is fine, but it's I don't have anything else going on. So like you entertain me, and it's like I
laugh at them all the time because they can't sit silently. It's impossible. It's impossible to just sit in a room and be quiet.
Yeah.
Whereas I honestly, if they weren't here, I'd go all day without talking. I wouldn't talk at all.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just I'm then perfectly happy. Sit, make tea, not even utter a word. But like, if I just sit and I don't turn on the TV, like if there's no music, there's no TV, there's nothing, it just drives them mad. The whole family.
See, if it were me by myself, I would throw on a podcast. Like I'm kind of similar, but I'm not going to ruin somebody else's quiet time.
Time?
Yeah, I'll throw it in. Like if somebody else is having quiet time, I'll throw in an earbud.
And it just makes me feel like I'm not as, I don't know, responsible, because like they'll pack up and leave. I have no idea where they've gone. And I don't care. Like I'm like, they left. They're like, where'd they go? I'm like, no idea. They're like, what if that's the last thing you ever see them? I'm like, well, they know I love them. I don't know what to say. Like, I'm sure they went to do, one of the normal things we do. I don't need to know.
That is a dark kind of question to ask. Like, what if that's the last time you see them? That would
be
regrettable.
That's what she says. That's what I get when I'm like leaving. She's like, where are you going? I'm like, why do you care?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there is probably something to be said about making sure that you probably say goodbye, like, and I love you, like that.
Of course, I don't mean to make it sound like I'm just rude about it, but like,
no, but I'm with you. Like,
I'm just not that I'm just the same way at work. My boss hates it too. I think maybe, if anything, maybe I'm just the outlier, because we'll get a call at work about whatever, just make something up, and they'll be like, can you help us? And I'll be like, sure. What do you need? And I'll be like, I need A, and I'm like, great. And I'll hang up the phone, and I'll get started working on A. And my boss will come in and he'd be like, what about this? Did they tell you about that? Did you ask about this? I'm like, I didn't ask anything at all. Yep. They said I need this, and this is what I'm doing.
Yeah. Makes things pretty simple.
I think I'm just a simpleton.
Back on them. No,
I've always been that. Yeah.
My best bet is I would actually have to check some sort of like message. Like Chelsea and I talk mostly on like Hangouts, like Google Hangouts or whatever. So if somebody asks like, where did they go? I'm like, I hope she told me in a text message. Like, I know she took the kids, and so much of our lives are just like driven by calendars now.
Yeah.
Like, I've got to make sure this is in the calendar so she can kind of like sort out her day. And that's just how we do things, I guess.
That's good cohabitating.
We basically from like day one, honestly, like we've been really good at just like living together, you know, and
that's important.
Dude, can you imagine, like, I guess you and your wife, like, you guys had a wonderful road, to be getting married and everything. Like, you knew each other pretty well by the time you're like, let's live together. Like, you You've been through it all.
Yeah, like we've married, divorced, remarried. It's been a long, long road together.
Totally.
But we actually fit together pretty well. She's
Mm-hmm.
way more, again, really responsible and detailed and stuff in all the ways that I'm not.
Yeah.
As I think Dev puts it best, like she keeps me grounded and I keep it fun for her.
Yeah.
Like that's how we fit into each other. She
I
keeps.
could totally see that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. She knows all of our doctors. She knows all the teachers. I don't know any of these people.
Yeah. Oh man, that's another thing. This is good. This is a Patreon exclusive. This is I'm having like this realization. I don't. Your kids are older, so maybe you've already had this. Where, like, I remember back in the day, growing up around kids my age and looking around the playground, going like, "You're kind of a shitty kid. You're kind of shitty. Like you're mean. Everybody's mean. Everybody's picking on each other." You can see that, and then as you grow up and you grow older, you realize like, those kids don't change. They just get older and they have money. Like they're still shitty. Like everybody sucks. And so then they have kids. This is the cycle of life. Like this is, I'm Sally Sunshine over here, but like I've had this realization that these shitty kids that I grew up with, who are all poking fun at everybody, they all grew up, and now they've got quads and RVs and all these things. They got their money and blah blah blah. And then they have kids, and they don't teach them kindness. There's these kids, like this is the cycle. This is why I grew up with kids who suck, because their parents sucked and they never taught them kindness. So like now my kids are going to school and they're around all these shitty kids. It's like, that sucks. Like, where's the kindness?
It's a nice nature versus nurture argument here. I'll let you know that I was a pretty mean kid.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm nearly as mean as an adult.
So Sean turns into a vigilante DVR. He would beat the shit out of these kids or their parents.
Punisher.
Depending on the time. Yeah. Yeah. Where's your manners? Right? Be polite. Include other kids. Why are you being crappy?
Be nice.
Honestly. And it actually was me talking through that I realized like why the kids are crappy. It's because their parents grew up crappy and they don't like, it just doesn't even hit their radar. So it makes sense. I'm glad that I actually have made sense of it. Because now, yes, I can turn into a vigilante. I could take
my wife brought a lot of the kindness into my life.
Yeah.
Without her, I wouldn't have it. So,
well,
I give her all the credit for the
where else would you have gotten it from?
Right.
Maybe in slivers, like people taking care of you. Like there's been moments, but like it certainly wasn't like the environment. It wasn't the landscape around you. Yeah. No. T-Bear says, "Hold the door for the person behind you," punches you in the face if you don't. Exactly. Like I'm so principled. I'm so manners driven that when I don't see manners, it's just like, the fuck. Tips me over, man. I don't like it. Yep. Don't like it. So there you go. Everybody teach your kids some manners. Teach them to be kind to other people.
Yeah.
Because it kind of starts with you. Maybe it's a defense mechanism. Maybe that's why parents don't teach their kids to be nice, because they see it as a weakness.
I just think kids are mean.
Don't be the nice kid. Yeah.
I don't think it's just kids are mean. I feel like most people grow out of it when they get older, but kids are just mean.
I don't think
they're meaner in a way that adults aren't, for sure.
Yeah,
they're just more honest
about
it. Yeah. See, they're just mean.
Yeah, they call it as they see it.
Mm-hmm.
Then they go on the internet. Yeah. And they break our hearts.
And it makes it worse.
Yeah. Man. So are you doing Extra Life at all? Are you going to be playing? Are you going to be hanging out? Are you going to be streaming?
I've never done Extra Life.
Yeah. That's okay.
I mean, it's not a belief or anything like that. I don't know. I've never gotten into it. I don't do much streaming to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily feel like people would want to pay me money to stream either.
Well, they're not paying you.
So
they're paying that.
Well, I mean, like they would want to support me to stream either. I guess that's a better way of putting it. I don't know if people would want to do that either.
Kevin is crushing it, man.
Like I'm
struggling to catch him on this.
Kevin's has got a great setup. I think his doesn't his work like match for every donation.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, so
that's great. Smart, like if I had
really smart
a corporate job like that, I would do it. Just because there's a lot there. But I just think if I did it, I don't have a big social network. The majority of my social network is streaming for Extra Life.
Yeah, that's okay. That's where it's at. I mean,
so like I would do it and raise like $80. You'd
raise some money.
I'd rather pay somebody $80 and let them do
it. Yeah. Well, I'm really looking forward to it. It is. It's funny how it's here. Like it's next week.
You'll be in Rome next week.
In 7 days. I've been kind of coming back on the caffeine a little bit, Donnie. I'm kind of relying on it a little bit more. I was off of it 100%, and I'm like, I think I'm just going to go with a straight up coffee here. Remember when Donnie was talking about streaming Mario Golf, and then Mario Golf crushed his soul, Brendan Myers?
Yep. I wired my entire computer and everything just to stream Mario Golf.
Yeah.
And I streamed it for 3 days, and then I never played it again.
Oh my God, man. I got a message earlier this week from my friend Court Lalonde, and he said that there's a store in Canada called The Source. It was kind of like a Radio Shack, and you could buy Cyberpunk 2077 for $10.
The Source is better name than Radio Shack. It's pretty good.
I think so. Yeah. I don't think
the
anybody
Source
thinks
sounds like a club or
Source.
something.
Yeah,
like a bar in the Matrix.
Yeah, but it's kind of cheap. It's kind of like it's not a Best Buy. It's not like a big box kind of store. It's always in a mall kind of thing.
Yeah.
So every once in a while, I feel like the only time anybody ever goes there if you want to buy batteries or if they've got one of these crazy sales on. But he did the scheme. Like he went and bought this game for $10 and then went to GameStop and traded it in for $30. And I'm like, that's perfect. You don't even have to take it out of the wrapper. Totally. So then I do it, and by then GameStop has caught on. Yeah, they've got the trade-in value at $8, and it's like, well, that sucks. It never works out for me. I never get that. I feel like you get it all the time. Like
I've done several deals like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I never win.
Once I found out like you got your Switch deal, right? And you trade in for your OLED.
Well, yeah, I actually ended up selling it. Yeah, we sold it on Facebook.
That's right. So when I found out that those promos that they were doing, I started checking my controllers. Man, I made a killing.
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah, I made it's crazy. They gave me $52 for my DualSense, $48 for every extra Xbox controller I had, which were mini.
Wow.
And then $140 for my Elite.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of mine. I mean, but again, you
need to check if that promo's still going.
Yeah, I've been checking. They've been doing.
This was a couple weeks ago.
Just different in Canada. They have.
So I got my racing wheel.
Dude, talk to me about this.
Oh,
yes.
It's so good. I'm ready for Forza.
What brand was it?
Speaking of Forza.
Oh yeah.
There will be, can we expect to hear?
You can expect to hear things
soon.
I will say, and this is Patreon exclusive. So
start of the work week, maybe.
What can I say? I don't even know what I'm allowed to talk about when it comes to like when to. It will be well before the release. I think I can say that.
Ryan at IGN said, "Stay tuned for Monday."
It's not Monday.
It's not Monday.
That. It's not Monday. Forza reviews will not come out on Monday. Okay. Or at least I can't.
Right.
That's what I.
Maybe he has like a special feature or something.
I want to.
Maybe it's not even Forza. Maybe he's talking about Halo or something.
I want to talk about it so bad.
I just assumed it was.
Somebody else was saying last Monday we got Halo. This Monday, blank.
Maybe so.
Maybe Halo.
Maybe. I'm very excited. I got the wheel. I've wanted a wheel for a long time, and I've been getting into all this racing stuff.
Yeah.
And I have got all this trade credit, and Kevin and I, once every season, we'll hook up and be like, all right, what are you getting? What am I getting? And we'll split up all of our purchases. Well, last time we did it, we really we're good through like God of War. We're good out until like April or whatever.
Right.
So I was like, what am I going to spend all this money on? And I started looking around for like Christmas presents, but I don't have a whole lot of gamers to buy for.
Yeah.
And then I had a friend of mine. He was like, you need a racing wheel. And I was I forgot all about it. You're right. I do.
Dude, I've been talking about joysticks this whole year. Like I want like a flight stick of some sort, but this would make a lot of sense. I've never actually held a wheel that I really enjoyed. Like I always feel like I know that I'm playing with a toy wheel, but yours looks really good, man.
Mine feels like you're racing. When you turn,
awesome.
You feel the vibration, the resistance in the wheel, and like even in the vibration, it feels like tires are like you're pulling. It feels like you're fighting the car. It feels amazing.
What's your setup like? Like what do you have it you have mounted to something or what?
I had it mounted to a little like fold table. Yeah. That's trash. That's not going to work. So I bought a steering wheel stand that you can buy off Amazon.
Get out, really?
And you put it together, and it's like a little, a rectic set like type thing. It's got a plate for the wheel on top. It's got a plate for the pedals at the bottom. Yeah. Because you want them to be on an incline.
Secured.
You don't want them to be flat on the ground, sliding around and stuff. So I bought an entire thing for it. Once I played it and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I was like, we need to make this as good as possible. So
what did you fire up? What were you playing on it?
For Formula One, 2021.
Okay. Ooh, nice. Is that on Game Pass? That's on Game Pass.
You get a free trial through EA Access.
Oh, there
it hasn't made its way through the vault yet.
Right.
But you can play it for 10 hours before,
that's plenty.
It'll hit the vault soon enough. Yeah. And all of the old ones I think are on Game Pass.
See, this is influencer territory, Donnie. Like you're introducing, like you've
I
done all
got
the
it for
homework.
Forza. I can't wait for next week. I'm
Oh
gonna play
my
Forza with this
gosh.
racing wheel.
Can you imagine? I just come in and go like, it's trash. Take the wheel back.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. You do have to, unless the new one thing that I would like to know from somebody out there in the world who might have early access that could possibly privately message me a detail is if there is any built-in support for specific wheel options in the menus.
I actually don't even know. There is a tab in there that says advanced controls. I'll tell you that I didn't
So
even
like
know it.
When you do Formula One, you go into options, you go into controls.
Yeah.
If you select racing wheel, they bring up a menu of like 50 different brands of racing wheel.
Oh, wow.
And then you select your racing wheel and it gives you that download preset specifically for your wheel.
I seriously might need to get a wheel. Oh my gosh. Because I love Forza Horizon, especially 3. I really, really like 3.
Yeah.
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 It's funny because like a lot of people have jumped into 4 and they're like, oh, now I get it. And I'm like, you don't get it. Like 3 is way better. So if you think 4 was just great, good, then like
4 was good.
Was totally, yeah, like,
but not great.
Yeah. So well, I feel like that bodes pretty well.
3 was great. 5.
Anna wants us to grow our social.
5 could be epic.
Oh man.
The metaverse.
Ooh. Yeah. So, what can I say? I think I can say that I'll play it on Extra Life.
Okay. Yeah. I think by then it'll be out early. Josh is going to play it on Extra Life,
I think,
too.
yeah, you're right. Yeah. I think the Ultimate Edition will be launched.
Yeah, we get to play on the 5th, next Friday.
Yeah, yeah. So that makes sense. I'm not going to be able to record the Xbox Drive, though. So I'm going to have to figure something out because I'm flying on Wednesday. So I don't know if Ryan's reached out to you.
Just pre-record.
He said he would.
Oh, no, he hasn't.
No, he's going to. So sneak peek.
I'll try.
Ryan wants to record the
Xbox Drive. I'll try.
Again, save space here with the Patreon exclusive.
Sure. I mean, to be honest with you, I've bought a lot of things on Xbox, but I'm still just playing Far Cry. Like I keep adding games to play, and it's just more and more Far Cry. I just keep playing Far Cry.
Sales have been amazing lately, and Game Pass continues to be Game Pass. We got to be playing one game. I'm looking forward to maybe playing on Extra Life is Bassmaster Fisher or whatever. Just
I fired that up in the cloud the other day.
Did you?
I did. I got the cloud update, and I just picked the first thing that popped in, and that was it.
Yeah.
And I drove around the lake and fished and stuff. Yeah.
I was scrolling through the description. It's like advanced multiplayer or something like that. I'm like, let's do that. Let's all fish together.
The only fishing game I'll be playing on my Xbox is that Moonglow Bay at some point.
Oh, dude, yeah, I got a code for that as well as it being on Game Pass, and I'm trying to reach for my cord here. How was it? Did you try it out?
Playing Far Cry.
Far Cry dominates it for me, man. Like, and I'm kind of
the person that reached out to us on Twitter and was like, "Hey, this game would be great for you guys. Do you want a review code?"
Really?
And I was like, "I'm not going to play it."
Game Pass.
Like I'm just being honest with you. Like right now,
I'm
playing Far Cry until Forza comes, until Grand Theft Auto comes, until Pokemon comes.
Oh,
like,
GTA. Pokemon. Oh my gosh, dude.
I'm not going to be playing like an indie game or a new game or anything.
Yeah.
Like for the foreseeable future, until like January.
How accessible?
Then there's Halo.
Remember the tier ranking that we did, the list that we did, our most hyped games or whatever. Do you have that handy? Like, would you want to jump back to that and go like?
I don't think I saved
like how things have turned out, because I think Tales of Arise is one game where I had it ranked down low, and then thanks to a code, I was like, damn man, I probably should have been thinking that I bought this game first day. I liked it a lot, and I just like to go see like how true to it.
I want to try that one, but I also realize that I probably never finish it, so I'm not like I'm not feeling the urge to buy it. I also think it'll probably show up on Game Pass at some point.
Probably. Yeah, that Bandai relationship is, and at the very least, like probably cheap. And it's the same with, not for Game Pass necessarily, but Super Monkey Ball I was hyped about. But...
I got Monkey Ball.
Yeah. Did you?
I got it through Kevin. Kevin got it on PlayStation.
Ooh.
I haven't played it yet, but I got most of my Black Friday shopping is done. I've already got Sonic Colors on Switch.
Yep.
But I haven't played it, but I just picked it up when I got my wheel. I got Monkey Ball through PlayStation.
Yeah.
I got another one of the ones that I was looking. I think the only one that I'm looking for is like Creed Boxing.
Oh, I heard that was really good.
I got Cruisin' I got on Switch.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
With the Best Buy deal here, at least here, they had a Best Buy deal where you bought it for $30, but you got a $10 coupon.
Oh, so good.
So it's like getting it for $20.
Yeah.
And I popped on that. Cruisin's a lot of fun too. Needs more cars, but it's really good. It's really good on the OLED.
I got to figure out what I'm playing on my flight.
Dusk, though. Dusk is the game.
Is that where I should begin?
People need to play the game. game's real good.
I mean, I can't really play like Mario Party by myself on the flight.
I played Mario Party yesterday by myself for like an hour.
I guess with CPU players.
Just hit the mini games, just hit random, and just keep
mini
going.
games are so good, man.
There's like 100 of them.
There might even be. Is there 100? Maybe even 200.
I have no idea. There's a giant. Like you see the menu and it takes up the entire screen. It's like you thought picking on a stage in Smash Brothers was hard. This is like everything is twice as small as that. Like,
I thought about
I can't even see what games they are. I'm like, I don't even know what this is.
Oh, I know. Good for them. Finally. And then what else? I guess Pokemon is it, and then Advance Wars got moved out, and then we're done for Nintendo stuff this year. Really, from
unless you're doing Arceus, that's January
next year. Wait for the disappointment to wash over, dude.
I'm not playing that game.
Prepare yourselves for the fandom.
I was there 8 months ago. I was like, no way.
Yeah, I feel like things have come to light since then. How's I think we made a touch on this last time, but how are you doing with like not recording all the time?
Well, it's been really good for me. I feel more like I wouldn't have been able to play Far Cry as liberally and freely as I have.
Nice. I love to hear that.
I would have had to force myself to play Metroid sooner and probably more. You know, so not doing that, not feeling that podcaster grind has been great. Yeah, it makes me. I feel like my schedule is free. Like I'm still doing the one show a week, but our patrons should know. I mean, they realize that I'm doing like 2 or 3 shows a week, but what I'm doing is I'm just mixing and matching and kind of picking and choosing. I've done a couple guest spots, really focus on the Patreon in a major way for the last 2 months, which makes me. I took a screenshot for Devin and Kevin of everything that we posted on Patreon for that month. Yeah. And it was so long that I had to zoom out like 50% to put it all in one square. Yeah. And I was like, this makes me really happy. And I know like half of it's live show alerts and stuff, but it's still, we're active. And I don't think we were as active. We definitely weren't as active, but like, I don't know. I feel like it's better. I feel like we're making progress and we're just showing support to those that support us. So that makes me feel a little bit better.
Well, that was the goal, man. Like
that was the goal.
That's why it feels good. Like you do a thing to achieve a thing, and then when it actually happens, it's like that.
Yeah. No, I feel like mission accomplished on that front. Like I feel good. The Patreon's good. Some folks have come back. Like I feel that's awesome. Like but like it feels healthy and it's good. And it's like, okay, we've self-corrected the Patreon and I'm having a lot of fun on PSVG. PSVG is a good show every week. You know,
sounds like a romp, man.
We laugh a lot. We have a lot of jokes and stuff. So
yeah, hopefully Lane sticks with it. Just gotta keep you guys on the Oh man, I love it because it's different, man. It's different. It's not what I expected. It's not what I was like when you told me what it was going to be. It's not what I thought it was going to be for some reason. I'm not sure how to describe it, but it's interesting. It's just a laugh. Like it's just like it's that total mix of there's clearly things that you're going to get to, but also who the hell knows what's going to happen, you know? And I don't know if that's like by design or what, but it's definitely
no. I don't think we to be honest with you, I don't think we really have much design.
Right.
The only thing that we've done is I've taken over the news bits to kind of speed us up a bit.
Yeah.
And Dev took over the questions just to not pin so much on a lane.
Yep.
You know, it's like so just the flow of the show.
Yeah. But, Brandon Meyer says it's exactly what he wanted. Look at that.
Oh, great. Fantastic.
That's awesome.
I think for us, at least I'd say for us, for me and Dev, who have the knowledge of before, what we wanted to do was just kind of return it to form. Yeah. And I think that has definitely been there. We're having a lot of fun. And we've realized that we can do 5-person shows without much interruption. So we'll be doing more guests. You'll have to come by and do PSVG more often. We'll be bringing, like I've already brought several folks through PSVG that, you know, like if you only listen to one show, you may not have heard Josh or Kyle or Haley for a while. So like that's a big focus on this show is to make sure that we get everybody coming and going. So.
Yeah, man. I love Trucker Sloth. Might be a little behind on the live recording, but he just jumped in to say my kids have a free pass to rock those kids' world if they're picked on. I love that. I want to get Lincoln into like some sort of like self-defense, like martial arts kind of thing. Not that I want him to go like roundhouse kick a kid in the face, but more just to like understand confrontation and how to stand up for yourself and have confidence that you can just kind of walk away from that. Like it's more than just like as much as I'd love to see him just like kick a kid's teeth out, like if he deserved it, that would be amazing. But
So you
probably
get
not the
sued.
best. You want to avoid
So you
violence in
get
general.
sued. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's not like when we were kids.
He's a weapon. He's a trained weapon. he's gonna Bruce Lee, like,
Put him in
just,
Muay
like,
Thai.
flying kick. Yeah.
You know?
Dude, I honestly, because I wonder, because now it's different. When I was a kid, it was just automatically kids go into team sports. You're in basketball or soccer or whatever. And now
Sure.
there's a lot more individual kind of things that kids can go into. And I think that might fit him a little bit better. And I do think that he, like, the coordination, he's my dorky kid. He's kind of like, he runs into walls and shit. And, like, you know, Ellie's agile. Ellie is, like, from a very young age, it's like, yeah, she could be a goalie in soccer. Lincoln's not. And I was like that.
My daughter took my athletic genes, but she hates it. She hates being she's a hoss. My daughter would absolutely destroy like girls basketball or girls volleyball, but she doesn't want to. But Jack has his coordination from his mom.
Yeah.
Which means to say it's not very good.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
Same situation here.
He has dove in hard on basketball. The kid has fallen in love with basketball.
I love that.
He's out there dribbling every day. He's trying to get better. We have a neighbor who had a goal, like a permanent fixed goal in the cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
But it was like broken and everything. And my son, because I was going to get him one, but it's long story short. We have a hill from the road. So if I put one up, he'd miss and it'd go down the hill and into the woods constantly, right? And I was like, that's not gonna work. I was like, just go ask him if he can, if you can use his goal.
Yeah.
You know, and he was like, we can't do that. I'm like, yes, you can. Like I did it all the time when I was a kid. He has a basketball goal. You want to play basketball? Go ask. And
we would say net, by the way. We would call it a basketball net. I think that's interesting. We ran into this with Johnny Casino.
Oh, I mean, to be honest with you, we call it a hoop. That's what I call it. Yeah. But yeah, so he went to go ask, and the guy was like, yeah, that's what it's there for. He's an old guy. He had a broke down truck out in front of it, so he moved it, and then he actually went and replaced the backboard.
Yeah.
Because it was like wood and broken stuff, and he put a new backboard up just so Jack could play.
We will absolutely have a basketball net out here. Like my parents had like and there's a lot of them around the neighborhood here, and they've all got that thing that, like, the base you're supposed to fill with water or sand or something like that to kind of keep it. My parents they threw that part out. They dug a hole in the ground next to the driveway and they filled it with cement. Like that pole stuck right in there. Like that was like, it was a permanent fixture. And we played basketball all
His
the
is
time.
permanent, and it's like the school goals that are like really wide,
like
you know?
Orange. Yeah. We will definitely be doing that. Because it's funny with the driveways and everything, you have to adjust for the height, you know, like if you're sitting down below it, like you don't want to throw it at 10 feet. But yeah, I'd love for he's just like now playing catch. Like he does like the cutest thing. Like you're like, Daddy, let's play catch. And I'm like, well, that is like the things that Hallmark cards are made of. Like it's super awesome. He's not very good at it. Like he's throwing it all over the place. I'm like, Lincoln, like part of catch is
you didn't beam him in the head, did you?
No, like
catch
with a blind kid over here. That kid's blind. What are you throwing? What are you playing catch with him? No, he's throwing it all over the place. He just gets excited. Like he's just really. But Ellie's really good at it. It's really interesting. They're 19 months apart, and yeah, on the physical stuff, it's really funny to see them, what the differences or similarities are.
Yeah.
So
I don't push my kids into sports at all either.
Yeah.
You know, they know that I played a lot of sports and I like it, but I don't like tell them they have to or anything like that.
Totally. It will never be a thou shalt. It'll be let's try it, and we'll try it twice. You know, try it at least a couple of times.
I've tried bribing my daughter to just try it because she'd really like a team atmosphere. Like she feeds on kind of like that infectious energy. I see it her like at church and in choir and stuff, like when she's around it. And I know that if she'd just get into a team, she'd probably be the damn captain.
Yeah.
But she doesn't want to sweat, and she thinks, you know, she looks goofy in, you know, the attire or whatever, you know, like she's not into it. So
tough to get into it at that stage. Like if you hadn't already been playing team stuff, like it's tough to get into later in life, so to speak. Was she 14 or 16?
I didn't get into it until I was in like school activities. I never, you know, had the opportunity to do like rec stuff or youth stuff.
Yeah.
She's 15.
Right in the middle. Look at that.
Yeah,
she's like you guys with the Halo date.
Should be driving soon.
Terrifying.
Very.
You got a teacher? Are you going to send her off to a school? Or
I don't think she's driving at 16.
Yeah, really.
So that's the harder part, is she thinks that we're the worst evil parents ever, and I'm just like, you're just not ready to be in a car. You're just
honestly, not. And they'll never see it, and that's the burden of parenting. It's just like you're probably right. And
I know that
for the
I'm
most
right.
part, 16 like that. Imagine a vote where they just raise the limit.
Oh yeah,
probably shouldn't have 16.
well, it's one of those things where I just look at her and I compare her to me.
Yeah,
Completely different 16-year-olds.
yeah, yeah.
You know, just completely different maturity levels and
Oh,
everything.
there's
like
no
that.
doubt. Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I didn't have like phones that played music and had maps and Snapchat and everything. It's just not a good idea.
Yeah.
Put her in a car and let her go off. It's just not smart.
It's sort of like the same reason that parents are like glad about school. It's kind of like go take care of the kids, like get them out of the house, they can go to school, and that's why like kids at 16 can drive, because at that point you're just kind of parents are tired of driving their kids all over the place. They're like, go take care of yourself.
Yeah,
You may
I'd rather
crash.
her Uber.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, and especially now, like very accessible, very easy, very trackable, very manageable on the finances and everything. Yeah. Yeah, that is better. You don't need it nearly as much.
Yeah, and you don't have to, it's one of those, it's like a status thing, right? She doesn't want to be the only high schooler taking the bus. And it's like, I get it. Well, but you're going to be.
Yeah.
For a little bit.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, it's funny how money has a little something to do with it. Like, what are you going to drive? What vehicle is provided? Like,
yeah, that's part of it. She asked me if she was going to drive the Challenger, and I just laughed.
Oh. It's like, that should be obvious. Like, that answer should be pretty clear.
That was the first thing she asked me when I came home.
I guess
are you going to let me drive this thing?
Not.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. It's not even... Hang on, let me think about it. No. Yeah, no, never.
She's like, when I'm 21, I was like, you could be 31. And you're not driving the Challenger.
Spit on my coffee. You could be 31. Yeah. These are the brownie points that you're scoring with your daughter, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
nothing
evil.
but positives.
I'm evil.
Dano says, what are you saying? You got a 95 Ford Ranger. Is that what you started with? Standard, not automatic. I learned to drive on a 1989 Plymouth Voyager standard.
My first car was a 1986 Mazda B2000 standard.
Ooh, very cool. That's very fancy. Yeah, I went to I went to a high school. I don't know.
I paid $900 for it. It leaked a quarter oil.
As you should.
Day.
It's a rite of passage. Everybody should drive an absolute shit car.
I had to flip a switch before I could turn the ignition. We had to bypass the ignition switch because
like
it was
a carburetor kind of thing.
Column. No, it's just electrical, but it was like a little flip switch that we hit under the dash.
See, I have that old school, like everybody should drive a crappy car to appreciate blah blah blah.
Well,
at the same time, I'm like, how about safety? How about a safe car, one that works and the brakes work and has features?
I always tell that my wife, her dad bought her car, and she treats that car and every car since like absolute trash.
Oh,
and I paid $900 for my car, and my cars, no matter how trashy or not, are spotless.
Yeah.
And maintained and well taken care of, and the oil's changed and the filters are changed. You know,
it might be a guy thing.
I don't think so. No, it might be. I'm not saying you're wrong, but
yeah,
I do think there's a little bit different when you fight and work hard for it.
Oh. Man, you and I agree on this. We agree on. Well, I mean, my first paying job was like delivering flyers when I was in grade 3. I was 8 years old, and I've been working ever since. I was refereeing soccer starting at 13 years old, and I did that for probably about 10 years. And yeah, like I bought everything. Like I had Christmas presents and birthday presents, but nothing was like, here you go, here's a car. It's like, no, everything like insurance.
My aunt and uncle were
phones.
like, yeah, we're not giving you a car. They're like, you need to get a job where you can support your own gas and your own insurance. And they didn't even put me on their plan.
Yes. Yep.
I had to have my own policy. I paid for 16-year-old out of pocket, full expenses insurance policy.
I at one point I was like, I learned how to drive on my parents' cars, but I would pay for my portion of the insurance. So I was like a secondary driver or whatever.
Right, and they get a discount, for having you on. Like I paid for it out of straight out of pocket.
Yeah. Oh, I love it, man. I think it's
my aunt was like, no, you're not ruining our insurance rates.
That's hilarious. Yeah, things change at a certain point. They kind of
helped me fix it every now and again, so it wasn't always, like I remember my clutch went out. My uncle helped me get a new clutch.
Oh yeah.
I had to pay him back.
Of course.
So
I love driving standard, man. I miss it. Your
I do
Challenger?
not.
You don't like driving
automatic.
Standard? Yeah. What about the wheel that you got? But like, is there an option? Does it have like a gear shift on it?
I got a gearbox.
Oh, that's so cool. I love it. Oh,
Yep.
I bet it, like,
And it's
shakes
got
my
paddles
stuff.
too.
Yeah.
And I'll probably shift with the paddles more because that's what they do in Formula. But
Yeah.
it's got paddles and there's a gearbox.
Oh, it's so good.
And on the stand that I have, there's a
should.
little shelf on the side. You can put the gearbox on. You can put it on the right or the left side. Either one.
I think I need to get this. What did you say? What brand it was? Did you tell me?
The one that the stand is a Logitech stand.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, because they make a bunch of racing wheels too.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
What
My
about the wheel?
Thrustmaster just kind of fixes. I got a Thrustmaster TMX.
Okay.
It's the Xbox branded one. It works on PC and Xbox.
Thrustmaster racing wheel.
All you have to do is you have to plug it into the wall, like for power, and then you have to plug it into the Xbox USB power.
Oh, you need power. Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Best Buy is the first thing that popped up here. Oh man. Oh snap. Okay, so it's the TMX Pro racing wheel for Xbox Series X, Series S. Is that the one?
That's it.
350 Canadian dollars.
Wow.
This thing
It was
is.
$199 here. It was actually $185.
Stop. Was it really?
It was $185.
Did you get it on sale? Because
It was on sale.
A regular price.
I think the regular price here is $199, and it was $185 on sale.
Only.
And then I had the
5
gift
left,
card
it
from
says.
all of the controllers that I traded him. I didn't pay anything for
T3PA,
it.
is that what you said?
I'm sorry?
Yeah. I think you said like T3PA. There's
No
a model
idea.
number here. Yeah. TMX Pro force feedback, and then it has it in French, which whatever that means. Dude, there even is a clutch on this. There's 3 pedals on this. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Do you find that they're too close together? Like that looks close, but maybe that's maybe I
When I
haven't
put them
looked
on
up-
the floor, I didn't have an issue with it.
Oh, I think
I haven't played with it on the stand yet. My stand comes in tomorrow.
Oh my god, you actually might have this. You might because there's another one here. Thrustmaster TMX racing wheel for Xbox Series X. It has 2 pedals.
Coach Mo told me to get this a long time ago, and Elaine has a racing wheel too. She has a Logitech wheel, and so I'm catching up to everybody
I
else.
might need to look at some of your pictures. There's a lot of Thrustmasters here, and there's the different prices. There's another one here for $269.
Mine was
pedals.
$199, so find that one.
I mean, that might be that one for $270. That's probably the same one. The one for $199 US for $270 here is probably pretty close. What made you buy that one? How did you
That
find?
was the
'cause
one.
there's lots.
So I've got a friend that I work with. We don't work together, but he works with a different agency. But we work together, and he's into Formula One. And we had a great Formula One race this past week, so we were talking about it. And I told him how much I wish I liked the Formula One game.
Yeah.
Because I played last year's and I was awful at it, just terrible. And he was like, "Yeah, you need a racing wheel." He's like, "Play it with a racing wheel." He's like, "I felt the same way." He's like, "Play it with a racing wheel," and he was like, "This is the racing wheel I have." So that was the one that I bought. I have no idea if it's
completely
good or
different.
bad or.
Like you can't even begin to describe. I don't think like how.
Oh, it's completely
using your
different.
thumb, you know,
Completely
and
different.
like obviously it is. Like it's,
Changes
this is
everything
so
about
easy
it,
to say.
and
Yeah.
like just having that feel. Look, here's the best way I can put it. So I played last year's Formula One, 2019 or 2020,
Yeah.
and I was like, definitely couldn't hit like the hard turns at like any speed at all. Like I would go over or cross the line or hit the wall, or I have to slow way down, and just wasn't very good. I won my first race on the wheel.
Oh snap! Just feels the way it should. I mean, you're a driver. You know, you've been driving your whole life. Like
you could just feel it. I could just, it's crazy because I was just driving. I was like, yeah, we're way too fast. Like you just slow down. Like I just, here we go.
I'm gonna have to sit real close to the TV. You
So
know,
I'm gonna play so much Formula One.
What do you change the view at all? Like, are you still kind of like the camera chasing the car, or are you in the
first person?
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Holy crap! Tony Baker says, just be careful when you Google Thrustmaster. Yeah.
That's smart. And I'm excited for Forza. Forza was really the main reason I wanted to buy it.
Look at
Jack,
you dive into the experience, man. Like you're so honed in on that. Like you're so, I don't know, in touch with how do I make this experience like the best experience? Like you're lighting in your room.
Let's glow it up.
Like it all makes sense. It's very on brand for Donnie Reese.
So Jack has gotten way into like kind of car culture since I've gotten the Challenger and stuff,
cool.
and he's all trying to find, he's trying to find his version of my Challenger, like what's his car and all that. He's been playing a lot of Forza, and then like his best friends that live across the street, their dad is like way into cars, and he's got a Mustang that he's always tricking out. So it's kind of funny because we're really good friends and I have like a rivalry, but the kids think we do, so like the kids. Yeah, the kids are all like, well, my dad did this. Well, my dad did this. And we're just both looking at each other laughing. I actually put stripes on the Challenger this month. He helped me come over and put stripes
Makes
on
it
it.
go faster.
And Yeah, so Jack's kind of getting into all of that and getting into Forza, and I was like, yeah, like let's get a wheel, like let's really do it. And he loves the wheel. Every day he's
Yeah.
like, can I play? I'm like, just wait till the stand comes.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't care. I'll play without the stand. Like,
Totally.
he loved like just the
That's the
feel of
best.
driving. It's his first time.
It's an arcade experience is basically what you've
Yeah.
done. You've brought
Yep.
home the arcade experience, which I mean has always been from day one. Like the fighting stick. I don't know if you've ever used one of those, or even just playing like a Street Fighter 2 on Super
Yeah, I've
Nintendo.
only played on cabinet.
Yeah, yeah. Like it's phenomenal. Like to bring that home. I think I'm gonna have to do this. Like
When you-
I think you've convinced me. You've
When you think
actually
Forza
convinced me.
Horizon 5 and how many cars, I mean, even 4, like how many cars you can play first person, you can play third person, and like the wheel's just going to make a world of difference. So, and
has my
look, it's an
Toyota back end.
expensive thing to do, right? Like it's a racing only like accessory. So if you're not into
That's
it,
the biggest reason I haven't
if
done
you're
it. Like,
not
you can't-
into it, it's hard to recommend, but I'm into it. So like,
yeah.
dude, I'm going to play entire seasons of Formula One. Like once I get my setup and everything, like I'm going to race every week, like with the calendar. So as they race, I shall also race.
I wish that you could have it just connected, and then if you're playing a game like Halo or Gears of War, something where like, or Far Cry, where you do jump into a car, you just like flip over, you drop the controller, and you jump over. To
Oh,
the wheel.
yeah?
Now
Yeah.
I'm driving the Warthog.
That'd be kind of cool.
and
No,
you
that'd be
jump back
kind
to
of
your
cool.
controller. I think that would be amazing. Like that would
Yeah.
really, because you want it to be usable.
It'd be
for
crazy
more
if
than
they
one
actually put analog sticks on it because there's a D-pad and face buttons too. So like
Totally.
it's almost a full controller.
thing.
Like you can navigate the menus and select everything, you know, like to
Somebody
navigate around the
somewhere's playing
game.
like Dark Souls on this stupid thing.
Probably.
You know,
Probably.
like Dark Souls with a Thrustmaster.
Of course.
It's thrusted their way through it. Just with the hips.
The heavy thrusts.
Yeah, big heavy thrusts. I think I'm gonna have to do it. I don't know what it is. Sometimes these ideas get
Get it at
lodged
Best
in my
Buy, man,
brain.
and like if you don't like it, you can take it back.
That's true. Yeah. I think I'll like it though.
I returned Metroid.
You returned Metroid.
Yeah.
Really?
I just didn't want to like keep
Just
the
full
game.
price. Yeah, good for you.
I figured I'd
it's-
get some of that money back, you know. It was so funny because I went to go take it back and they were like, you can't return it. It's open, which is crazy because I've returned to open things like multiple times.
Yeah.
They've never ever told me that. I don't know if that's true or not, but they were like, yeah, you can't. I was like, no, I have.
I wouldn't imagine that you could.
And I asked them, I was like, look it up. Like they looked up in the thing. I was like, yeah, you see that game and this game and that game. Like I didn't like them, so I returned them. And I was like, and
Yeah.
you guys always, and I'm in like their elite club or whatever, you know. So they.
Oh,
they
is
just
that
ended
why?
up- They ended up just taking. Yeah, I think that's why they were like,
Yeah.
fine, like we'll just take it. I was like,
That's
well,
nice.
if you're not going to do it, then I'll stop doing it. I was like, but you always have, so I don't understand why you're not now. But
Yeah.
I'm not as into Metroid as everybody is in
Mm-hmm.
the world, and they flooded the market with so many copies of it. It's not like you could like. I think like the special edition is selling for maybe like $10 less than it
Yeah.
sold for like a retail like on eBay. So I was like, there's no point in even selling. I'll just return it and let somebody else buy it.
Yeah.
You know, they'll get it at a discount. You know,
Yeah, you
box
do the world a
open
favor.
box copy.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah,
Look at you, a man of the people. living
I
in
didn't even
service of
open my
others.
amiibo.
Yeah, neither. I mean, where is it? Somewhere around here. One of these shelves.
I almost did, thinking of like if I was like if I open these amiibo, maybe I can finish the boss.
Oh, to use them for what? What one refills the
One of them
missile?
gives you a tank.
Oh, what? I'm definitely gonna use that. I've got a
I think
bunch
they
of
give you a
Metroid.
tank. One of them gives you a tank. No, like the new ones. I think
Is it
one of the
just the
new
new
ones. I think it's just the new ones give you a tank.
Yeah, I wouldn't take it out for that though.
Yeah, that's why I didn't either. So
I took the other ones, the ones for Samus Returns. I took those out of the box and kind of regret it a little bit.
really,
Yeah, I don't know. I think the Metroid itself, like
the only thing I regret is not getting that damn Samus Returns 3DS.
there it is. Oh,
I really
it's
wanted
fine.
that one. I wanted
lot of
it
people
then
want that
too,
one.
and when I just knew. If you remember when Samus Returns came out, like we all knew the 3DS was over.
yeah.
I was like, I'm not gonna buy another 3DS. Like we got the Switch. Yeah, I think that's the
this
one
looked
that you
better in
should
the-
take out.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't like the squishiness kind of bugs me, and it's kind of got a.
That's the whole point.
I guess
That's
I
what
took it
makes
out. I
that
remember
amiibo
taking-
special.
I don't want to. I don't need to touch it though. I think it doesn't look as good out.
Out
I
of the
actually
box.
liked it.
Did it have
Yeah.
like a cool background and stuff on it?
Yeah, kinda. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense. Because sometimes they do set them up kind of like dioramas.
But Samus herself, like she looks pretty dope.
Yeah.
Big old shoulders. 90s shoulder pads on her
Mhm.
armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, like man, I love Amiibo. I'll never not love Amiibo. This will always be a thing that I just
I mean,
I spend way too much
have
money
all
on. They've
the
only
Zelda
gone up in
ones,
price.
but you know me, I sold all mine at the height of the amiibo craze.
Yeah.
And then I just bought chips. Chips.
Yeah,
I have chips.
smart.
See? Chips.
Maybe I'll get those Animal Crossing cards. See, like I got the Dark Samus. This is Rybo's favorite part of the show.
See, here you go.
Just grab
This is
shit off the
my
shelf.
version of what?
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
I've got like this this Xbox, this FanFest. I don't know what this is. It looks like a poker chip, but it's heavy. It's actually like a pog
It's like
slammer.
a paperweight. Yeah, like a
Yeah.
yeah.
And I kind of keep that with.
I have one of those. I have a D-pad version of that.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
Whether it's like
FanFest,
metal,
like,
and
it
goes on the
struggles.
Elite.
FanFest is struggling right now. They're trying to keep people kind of
You
engaged.
can't do it in
and there's,
person
trivia
and stuff, and they're trying to do the online thing, and
I know.
nobody really cares.
And those emails are so long, by the way.
Hey, that's just Xbox.
Oh,
that's just
my
Xbox
God.
marketing in
Tighten it
general.
up, man. Goodness gracious.
They don't
Like,
get
what,
that at all. They want to
what
let
do
you
want me to
know
do?
everything that they have to let you know. Like that is, what was it? It was like a year ago. Somebody told Jeff. Somebody was like, Jeff, Xbox has got to stop doing these presentations. He was like, you're just gonna have to get used to it. He's like, that's just Xbox.
That's just Xbox.
He's like, that's just the Microsoft
Here's
way.
the documentation.
He's like, they have a giant corporation that loves telling you what they're doing. And I remember when he said it, I was like, he's absolutely right.
Yeah.
Like this is just the way they do things.
What was it that I don't know if anybody talks about this as much as I think they
Every time they have an
should.
update or something, they're like, we have to have an event and a blog post and a video. Like you could just tell it's like a very American way. Like, let's be loud and proud, it's just so funny. It's just so funny.
The more we say, the more clear it'll be. And it's like, that's the opposite. Like,
that's exactly right.
The opposite.
They're
like
let's
just
really spell it out for everybody.
Punchy. Just get it.
2 hours completely detailing everything about it.
let's hang on this 45-minute little bit on like catapults or trebuchets or whatever the hell. Like that like there's always these examples, you know, of like these missteps that these companies
Remember that?
do.
Was it their last Inside Xbox where they had like that basketball player doing NBA 2K and like he looked like he didn't even know he was being interviewed. Like it was such a waste of an interview.
Honestly,
they're like, "Do you like basketball?" And he's like, "Yeah."
It's amazing because this is all within the time and new era of Nintendo where they like the directs are hitting and everybody
crushed.
Like that's the model. Even the launch of the Switch, like damn near perfect. That trailer with Karen on the rooftop and they're playing like basketball on the court, or whatever. Like it told you.
We recorded Nintendo Shack for 2 hours after they released that 1 minute and 30-second commercial.
So much to unpack with it. It was perfect.
Yeah.
It was actually perfect. Like I really do think that you can look back on that and go like, there's no better way for them to. And they didn't say a word. They didn't say anything, and there wasn't anything that if you look back on that.
Well, if anything, I think your experience proves your point because the moment they started talking with that little fan event, you were like, "This is awful." Right? This was like the commercial was great, the event wasn't.
Oh, absolutely, and that's the same model. Like let's just tell you, high definition rumble. Let me tell you about what that means.
HD Rumble.
Let's
which is actually pretty awesome. But
yeah.
Not really like something you want to like dig your toes in.
Because these Joy-Cons are going to cost you $90 a piece.
And you have to replace them every 4 weeks.
We have such a funny relationship with games. Like, spend all our money, let's spend all our time, let's do all the things, and some of it's going to be great, and some of us we're just going to shit on 4 years
like
later,
Nintendo Switch Online.
I just bit the bullet and I just not even think about it. Like, and that's kind of like, it's such a sad, like if I'm you sitting in that chair looking at me doing what I'm doing exactly what you're doing. Like I completely get it because I've kind of just abandoned all of my like critical thought when it comes to Nintendo.
That you usually bring to all of this and everybody else.
Oh, big time. And especially like podcasting with Bobby where he would just do that. He would just buy everything. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, are you even thinking about this? Like they're not earning
I was
your
thinking
dollars.
that while you were listening. It was one of your shows, maybe 2 weeks ago. I think it was the one before the last one where you went like full hands on. You were like, you know what? I'm just into the emotion of this and I just want to feel good and be happy. And I was like, this is so not Sean.
Yeah.
I was like, if this was Xbox or PlayStation, he would be going off.
Well, it's exhausting. I think that's the thing is like to be critical of Nintendo is futile and endless and forever. And it's like, I just want to play games. You know?
You're right. I got told in both our Discords and another Discord for like anytime I shared a post or an example or a screenshot or a video or a discussion about anything that was critical. It was one thing I was thinking about bringing up because it was interesting because the word that kept coming up was negativity. And I was like, this is interesting because we've reached, I don't think this is like blameful towards anyone or like a group of people, obviously.
Yeah.
I think what it is we have such a large amount of cross-examination for products. And it's not just video games, just like all just the world of communication in general.
Everyone's commentating on it.
About everything all the time. That anytime you see criticism, whether it be evidential, which is like the word that I would use, or commentary or opining, you take it as negative. And I thought it was interesting because I was like, I don't feel like I'm being negative. I'm almost being informative. Like I'm sharing, like, look, like, here's a picture of what it looks like, it's like this actual video. Like, look at the frames. Look at this.
Why isn't this interesting to you at the very least?
But I realized that I've always been, I don't think I'm saying anything that people don't already know. I like being very well informed. I like seeing the details and like, let me learn all of this stuff. And I think I have to maybe learn to accept that not everybody else cares or wants to know.
And once
I can probably be exhausting to other people.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to just find one person that proves it. I actually want to find like 6 people that all say the same thing. Because maybe this one person's wrong. I'm kind of very exhaustive in that search for information that I usually put into these sorts of things.
Well, and the thing is that there's really only one way about it, right? When you come to the table with something that is objectively worse, you can measure it, you can see it, like the detail is not there, the emulation, whatever it is, like it's not the same. And it's like, I guess the question is like, what do you expect the response to be? If somebody is, if they don't care, you're going to especially get the response, stop coming on in here with this crap. But if you're looking for, I think what you're looking for is like an actual conversation of like, that is just factual, discussion. That is interesting.
I'm just sharing info, to be honest with you. And it's like, to me, it's no different than if I shared like a game announcement. Right. It's like, this is news. See, look at it,
Right. And I guess like the other side of it is the implication that it's not worth it, or I guess the reaction that you get is somebody is excited about it, they're going to buy it, and then you come in with something like that and they go, are you saying that I'm being stupid for spending my money on this? Right. And I don't know that that's exactly the connection that needs to be made. Like, I don't think that's what you're saying, although maybe in some cases it might be. But I think it is absolutely worthwhile to point out that the emulation on Nintendo Switch Online plus expansion pack is subpar, because it's been done better in other Nintendo products. It's not even subpar compared to like illegal stuff. It's like,
well, and just in this specific matter, because I was speaking honestly more globally, even beyond Nintendo Switch Online. I do this for everything. I did this with Stadia. I do it with cloud gaming. Like, this is just kind of me. This is my experience of being around me. But with this specific example, I also brought like several videos and pictures of like, look at what this emulation is doing well. Sure. It's brighter. It's sharper. Like there's bonuses too. It's not just bad. Here's the positives. Like, this is good. Because I like just being exhaustive and informed. Like, let me know all the details. Yeah. But like, I get it. It feels like, I think it feels sometimes like if somebody brings that and you're excited about it, it feels like they're like coming for your excitement. And it's interesting because the negativity, it's like, like we're bringing this room down. It's like, well, that's not fun for anybody. Yeah. Like, it's not fun for the person that's trying to, engage in conversation. And it's also not fun for the people that want to be excited. And because this has happened a few times in the past month over hot topic issues in Discord, not even outside of Nintendo stuff, where I'm wondering, like, are we reaching a place like this oversaturation of information and media where like we can't be around people as often that like have disagreements? Yeah. Because like, you just like, it's almost like Discord was made to siphon you off into little like-minded places. Right. But then it gets big, but like Twitter can't do that. Twitter is not made for that. It throws you in a pool with everybody. But Discord, almost by its very nature, like its difference is that you can build your own community, usually with people that probably think a lot like you.
in varying ways, though. And I think the other thing too is just as they grow, then it becomes almost the same kind of echo chamber or a little room that you've carved out for yourself on Twitter. Like, obviously there's an abundance on Twitter, but what you see and experience is limited. It's like a visible universe there.
Sure.
And it kind of reflects that as.
But unless you go private and stuff, like, you don't really have to worry about people bringing stuff to your Twitter, or they can hop in, I guess, if they're like looking for it. It's just interesting.
The stark contrast in this particular instance is interesting. I think that you can't really bring, like, suddenly it seems too that you can't really bring that to the table.
I was saying, I was telling, I think, Kevin, I was like, there's something in the water, like around the Nintendo space all of a sudden. I don't know what it is, but I've seen a lot of it on Twitter. Like, it was heavy around Metroid. It was heavy, like, when Nintendo Switch Online. Like, I feel like there's like a sudden defensive rise. Like, there's like the defenses have been raised for some reason. I don't quite understand it, but everybody seems maybe a little on edge, a little more than normal.
Well, there's the differences between the Switch and the other systems are becoming more and more apparent. The ability, their capabilities, and where people's mindsets are. Like, if you bought a new console, then you cared about everything that had, and if you didn't, if you're still on Switch, then you clearly don't. And that's like, now the gap will widen, I think. So people who are experiencing the super fast load times and everything that's happening over on the like Xbox and PlayStation 5, you go back to a Switch and it's like, oh, I don't like these load times. I don't want this to be so framey. So all those things, I think, kind of add up. And we want a Switch Pro. We never got it. We got the OLED. So there's a whole conversation about that. But you're right. Like, and I generally get, like, I have a reaction when I see, like, we can't talk about that here. It's like, that stinks, man. Like, that, I don't like that either. Because you and I that's why we like to podcast together.
That's why we like to podcast. I enjoy talking about these things.
So do I. And
I don't take it personally if somebody, criticizes something that I enjoy. Trust me.
And it's something that I need to, like, personally, my take on it, and I really just need to say that I'm talking about myself here, is if you choose to come to the table with a topic that might be in either against what my feelings are, or if I just want to be excited about something and you're just like going on and on about why this thing sucks, and it's like, you're okay to do that. And I can't let you impact my thought or feeling about it. It's just like, those two things can still exist. Like, I have to be much more, like, stronger in my beliefs and in my thoughts and everything.
The Nintendo Shack was basically born out of this. Like, we come from that Wii U age of being excited for this thing that nobody was. Both of us.
Totally. And I think if you were in a Discord sense, like in a conversation, maybe it's tougher to do, especially if we're trapped in this room together, this podcast space, and you're just going to, like, go hammer it on. And it's like, okay, Donnie, I get it. But in a Discord or in a Twitter sense, I really do think that we need to get back to almost like how we were maybe raised as kids. That, like, if there's a situation that you're not enjoying, you're not liking the vibe, walk away. Like, go and come back later. I think that's the way that we all need to be better about that. If something is happening that we're not liking, scroll on, come back later. But then the argument to that could be, you're ruining my space, and I feel like I'm never allowed to be in my own space.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. You nailed it. I feel like, because I'm naturally debative. Everybody knows it about me. If you've listened to a podcast or if you've known me for some time, like, I'll argue and debate lots of things.
Yeah.
And to me, it's never me versus you or an argument or anything. It's just good, friendly conversation. We're just talking. I'm bringing up points. You're bringing up points. We're talking. Maybe we'll find some overlap. Maybe you'll completely change my opinion by the end of it. But, we're chatting. But I feel like you're right. I felt in the past month that maybe that's not how it's received always. Because I'm like, there are times where I don't feel safe to post freely in my own space.
I think there's a couple things about it. It's not like, I think something that would be kind of an asshole thing to do would be seeing somebody else go, I'm really excited. Like, if I went in and, like, I just picked up NSO Plus expansion pack, I'm really excited about it. I just played Star Fox. It was super fun. And then if you respond to that and go, but did you know that, like, these are all the things, these are all the problems with it? Like, that's kind of a shitty move. That's kind of a crappy thing to do. But I don't, like, other than that, just, it'd be great to have all the different kind of perspectives, be able to live within the space. But I mean, I talk about this sort of idealistic situation all the time, and unfortunately, it's just not the case. But I don't know, man. It's I I don't even want to. I almost don't even want to bring up like. Try talking about Animal Crossing the way that I talked about Animal Crossing when that came out, and see what the community does to you then, man. They don't love it. They don't like you talking about like you should have at least two save files on this thing. It's like, how is that like controversial? How is this a thing to debate? You know?
Yeah.
But there
it happens. I think
this is the magic they generated. This is.
I honestly, I think it just ebbs and flows.
Oh, big time.
Just ebbs and flows.
Mm-hmm.
And
we were all okay to shit all over Mario Golf. That was fine.
You're right. Right. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So, anyway.
The emulation part, honestly, on the Nintendo Switch Online part, I honestly don't even care that much for. I have a Nintendo 64. It's awesome.
And when I saw the comparisons, I really had to go, I have to choose to just like be aware of it. That is worse, but I'm just going to play it. This is what we have.
Anyway. Yeah.
Like, what am I going to do? Like, what am I actually going to do? You know, the choices are maybe that is the decision to not buy it, and that would be fair. Or I'm going to buy it, and it's just like it is what it is.
Well, I think for somebody like me, okay, so the difference being over in my sectors, like even in your Discord, like I've been pretty adamant that I don't think the offering is all that strong, like for value. Sure. That doesn't mean people should or shouldn't pay for it. Right. You know, like what somebody values is up to them. But for me, I'm like, it's relatively the same price as several other services that other folks offer, and I don't feel like we're getting nearly as much for that as the other folks are. Yeah, I feel like that's almost subjective. Like I think if we sit down and we line it all up together, we probably all agree that like they're stretching a bit here, right?
Yeah. But yeah, and that's equal. Like you just do on your spreadsheet, your grid.
Exactly.
Like, this one gets this one does not. This one gets this. Yeah.
I honestly think my biggest issue with the Nintendo Switch Online thing is that there's no guarantee for support. When you subscribe to PlayStation Plus, you know that you're getting 2 games a month,
right?
Every month. You know, like you don't know what you're getting with the Switch Online
and
when it's coming.
Direct comparison, and that's just it. And this is Nintendo loves this space where they go, okay, if you're going to do the comparison, great, we're not the brand for you. But if you're not going to do the comparison, then honest, like because the angle that I took to come to the realization that I wanted to buy this was, I want to have access to all these games. And if I were to do this in a virtual console kind of fashion, then I would spend a lot more money. So now I've got all these systems and it's going to cost me $80.
I think you would bring up a very good point that I'm pretty sure I've heard you make on If We Ran Nintendo. If they actually did load it up to virtual console, the conversation would shift to, I can't believe they're making me buy this game again. Totally. I've already bought this game a bunch. That's the whole reason they're doing a subscription. Because they don't want to sell you Mario 64 one time. And they want to sell you Mario 64 over and over and over again.
Totally. And they didn't follow the path that I think a lot of us expected them to do, which is create this kind of retail fervor. You have everybody punch themselves in the face to try and go get a new mini console like the 64 console. Instead they did this, and they'll sell us $50 controllers, which I can't believe I'm saying this. I kind of want to get one because
after seeing the button mapping,
it does not convert.
Yep. After seeing the button mapping, I was like, "Oh boy, that controller is almost a necessity."
And they know it.
Yeah,
that's why, and those are the things when you get into it, those are the things that drive me crazy about Nintendo because it is super manipulative.
When I've discussed some of the issues with the emulation, it's not because it's not out of see, this is why you shouldn't buy it. That's never been the case.
Sure,
it's more like we should expect more from Nintendo.
Yeah.
Why are you just letting them off the hook on this? Because I think that's the thing that I get most often. The thing that I hear most often from Nintendo fans is like, nobody cares. Nobody cares about that. It's like, I kind of do. Like, I think you should too. Like, just because you're saying like Nintendo do better doesn't mean you don't like Nintendo, and it shouldn't lessen your fandom or how your perceived fandom of Nintendo is. Totally. It's like Nintendo made these games. They created these games. They built a simulator. If anybody should know how to do it, if anybody can, it's them. They're, as I said, like they're profitable. They're knowledgeable enough to do so. You should just ask them to do so. Like, just, like, I'm not saying like it's crap, like let's throw it in the trash. Like, I think the answer is like, I hope they patch it. Like, I hope they patch it and make it better. Cause like you should want the fog and the atmosphere and the frame rates and, less latency.
And even like, what is the reason? Like, I don't know about you, but like Nintendo certainly doesn't talk like this. Like, we know that there's comparisons. I'd love to, like, is there a technical reason? Is there something going on?
In a lot of, actually, I was talking about this in Game Tech because I was sharing a lot of information, and that's honestly what I was trying to find. I was like, there's a trade-off.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something, the reason that this is happening this way is because the graphics are running better, or they have another 3D modeler in there, because it is a sharper, brighter image. Like it's actually quite nice. Like the 64 games, like if you take a still frame, not the Zelda one that's going around, but if you just take a still frame of like Mario 64, it looks great. It's the playability that doesn't suffer. It's not bad. It's just a little off. So it's like, I was wondering, like, is it the multiplayer? Is it the online? Is it like a DRM factor? Is like the fact that you have to register, you know, your subscription every time you boot up? Like, is there something in the background that's making this the case? And is it a worthy trade-off?
Right.
Because if it is, then this is just the trade-off, and that's great, but we don't know. And in light of knowing, it's like, well, we'd like it to be better.
It could be, like, now that I think about it, and I remember when I think of Fog, I think of Turok 64.
Oh, yeah.
Which really was like everybody called it the pea soup Fog.
You can, by the way, you can play Turok with that N64 controller on the Switch.
Oh, I love it. Oh, that's so good.
That actually made me almost want to get one.
I actually got to get that. And what that was, like, that was a representation, a visual manifestation of the limitations of the 64. It didn't have enough memory, didn't have enough power to have the draw distance, so that it created this fog around it. And so part of me thinks, like, at least in the situation with Zelda, maybe the fog is gone because there's enough power to see that far out. And what they actually, so it's this reverse, like, it's an accidental degradation.
It could be. I feel like with Zelda, though, the fog is there not out of limitation, it's there for effect.
No, of course,
and, like,
or a blend of the two.
When you have the Lost Woods and stuff, like when it's not there,
it actually adds.
It feels like it's missing, and I can only imagine, like, Majora's Mask would potentially suffer greatly without it.
Yeah,
you know,
it would just be funny, and it'd be actually very, very Nintendo that the thing that was adding atmosphere gets removed because they accidentally put too much power.
Because, like, there's like an option in their emulator they didn't turn on or something. Yeah. They draw distance. They slid up the slider to max.
Yeah, and it's sort of like
now you don't have it.
Well, it's sort of like and this is where what I think part of the things that define what good emulation is, or when you're bringing old games into the future or the present with more powerful things. You play like Mega Man, the NES version, or the NES games, Mega Man 1 through 6 or whatever, and they still have the slowdown when you play it on like a current game, a current system. Like, that's preserving the feel of the old game. Like, they easily, there's no reason for it to slow down. There's obviously more than enough to render probably 40 different
but this was it in its original form, and that's what emulation is.
So I think this is sort of like that on Nintendo Switch, where that's not happening. They're not maintaining the crappiness of the old days. They just, like,
well, in like MVG's case, you know, they shouted out major time, like, Star Fox apparently is excellent. Yeah, they're like, this is the best emulated version. They're like, this is the best emulated version of Star Fox you can play ever.
Oh, cool.
Like, this is the best version. It's great.
Okay, well, that makes me feel better, because I didn't do any comparisons. I'm like, I had fun. I don't know if I'm missing something.
Yeah, they did a full comparison on the Nate the Hate podcast I listened to, and that's why I like listening to folks like MVG, because he's a developer, and he can kind of shine some awareness on some things that I don't understand. And yeah, apparently Star Fox is absolutely excellent, and so is another game, but Mario 64 has a lot of lag, and then obviously the Zelda issues I think have gotten the most press. Everybody knows what those are. Yeah. But yeah, in Star Fox, and that, I think that's more or less why is one the best version of a game that you could possibly play, and the other one's
better
not.
Than the 3DS one. That's amazing to me, because that was like kind of
and I think that's where the difference, because they said this is the best way to emulate Star Fox.
Yeah, so that game wasn't.
Star Fox 3D is not emulated. That was a complete rebuild. So I think they're omitting that one from the case.
Sure. Yeah.
Man, but in the footage that I saw,
my
it
3DS to
looked
Rome,
excellent. It looked sharp as hell. Like, it looked. Star Fox looked great.
Yeah. I want to fire it up again, and I like, because I enjoy looking at these with a critical eye. I want to see. We could actually do like a side by side. We could actually have like the original sitting right next to it. TVs. I could have one on Switch, the 64 sitting on the other one. Be super fun, at least for a.
So I saw for a laugh. Game Explain recorded the adapter that I have, the HDMI adapter, side by side, and
nice.
Their visuals looked awful compared. Like Nintendo Switch Online, I should correct, looked way better than my HDMI one, which is interesting because when I saw their footage, I was like, that's not how it looks on my TV. Like, when I take it, people have seen my pictures of my 64 when I take pictures of my screen and stuff, like, it looks a lot better than this.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they were capturing on, but maybe they didn't turn the upscaler on or something. But
yeah. And at a certain point, like, I don't know about you, but I'm not going to be beating any of these games. Like, that's not why I want them.
You know? And I do agree with some, like, I would say, like, some of Rebecca's comments, like, yeah, like, you know, the fog or like the water in that particular issue in Zelda. Like it's not going to break anybody's game experience. Like you can just get past it. It's more or less kind of unfortunate, but
it's kind of the Craig situation with Halo.
It is, but the question is like, why is it okay for it to be like they should have like, did they not test it or get through QA? Is it a limitation with the emulator that they have?
Yeah.
Like it's just more of a passing interest, but if there's anybody that could do it, like you would expect that they would be able to do it the best.
It's their own thing. It's their own games, man. Like
exactly.
It's not like it's farmed out to somebody else, although maybe it is, but they would still obviously have full control over what they
and if you're playing it and you're having a blast, keep by all means keep doing that.
I will say Sonic still sucks. Sonic is awful.
Which one?
Is just Sonic. Well, all of them. Just playing like 2D.
Did you do the Genesis one?
I played Sonic 2. I'm just like, what a shitty game.
Really?
What is like? Yeah.
I mean, I agree with you. People that have listened to me for a long time know that I don't have a whole lot of love for Sonic. I don't think Sonic's awful. I just don't think Sonic is anywhere close to Mario. I find it funny that the 90s was all like Sonic versus Mario. Like these aren't even remotely comparable.
I know. It's like the only other option. Like
I've laughed at that my entire life. I'm like, I don't understand who these people are.
I know, like you were really gunning for like the Mario killer, and this is what
maybe put like Streets of Rage in Mario, and like we have a conversation. Like Streets of Rage is excellent. It's like Sonic's
not even close, dude.
But I like Sonic. I like Sonic 2. I like Sonic and Knuckles. I like Sonic Colors.
I feel like I should. Colors is good. Like 3D Sonic, I feel like I actually have an opposite opinion than most people.
Oh wow, I was gonna say because if you like 3D Sonic more than 2D Sonic, then you're definitely an outlier.
Yeah, I get
hot takes.
That's fine. Is that what that is? Is that did I just land myself in a hot take?
I think maybe that might be one.
Better. Yeah,
I love it, Sean. You should be like, do the Wii U Sonic. Like
2D
Sonic
better than 3D Zelda.
What was the Wii U Sonic? You remember the Wii U Sonic where he could dress up like Link? What was that game?
I don't think
like
I ever
Sonic
had that
Boom
one.
or something.
I don't think
like Sonic Boom or Sonic something. Somebody in the chat tell me what that game was. There was a game where he had a Link outfit. It was a Wii U exclusive, and they had a Link outfit, just like the Bayonetta thing. It was Sonic. Yeah,
that's amazing.
But you should go around telling everybody that that's the best.
Sonic. I mean, this is your guy. Okay, I hit down and try to spin, and he jumps. I try to walk up a hill and jump, and he flies backwards in the other direction. That's shitty.
It was a little bit before me. I just didn't have access to it at the rise of the Genesis. But I think the Sonic thing, as I understand it, is just mainly a tech thing. Like it was just so flashy and bright at the time.
I guess
people were like, "Look how cool this looks!" It's like the Crisis of its day.
I literally remember going to my friend Tyler Herman's house, and he showed me his Sega. I'm like, "This sucks." Like, good for you. It's stupid. Another dude, Alex on my
I never had a
team.
Genesis. I played other people's Genesis.
Both kids who I knew who had Segas, they were only children. They were like the only kids. And this one kid, he had all the things. He was spoiled rotten.
Sonic Lost World.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's it. I looked at the box art.
Daniel says Sonic Adventures 1 and 2 are good. Is Sonic Adventure, what was the Dreamcast game? I feel like I haven't got clarity on this one. Was that Sonic Adventure, and then did that come out to 360, and is that what people call Sonic 2006? I can't keep these things straight.
That Sonic game was good. Yeah, Sonic Adventure.
I feel like I had a good time with Sonic on my Dreamcast.
2 years ago, after the Genesis thing, they mentioned that they were going to do a Dreamcast Mini, and I've been waiting since.
That'd be amazing.
I really want them to do one. Just like my NES one, I want to hack the hell out of it. Dreamcast emulation is really solid. Spectacular even.
Yeah.
And all I want is a little, RetroPie with an HDMI adapter that can do it.
Dreamcast was like right up there with maybe PlayStation 1 as how easy it is to what do you call it, hack it whenever you mod it when you would mod your system. Yeah. So easy, man. Yeah. And there's like multiple options, like take your pick.
Completely tank the system.
Yeah, if you want to chip it, if you want to have there was like a boot disc that there was, they had an option where you would so many different ways to do it. Absolutely. And when you're a kid, whatever. We spent enough money on it. We had 4 controllers. We had the memory stuff. Like we spent a lot. And then we just cracked it. And still would buy some games. We wouldn't do everything. It would still take you a long time to download the games and burn it. When I was burning discs back then, and not everyone worked, so that was kind of a pain. And I've always kind of avoided inconveniences like that. Man, Dreamcast. Yeah, give me a Dreamcast Mini. And do it right, not like PlayStation.
I've almost bought a modded Dreamcast on a couple occasions, but I keep holding off because Sega said that they were going to do a Mini.
Oh, yeah.
You know, whoever that designer that did it, like I remember he was asked about it. And like, do you want to do another one? He was like, yeah, I think we're gonna do a Dreamcast.
I actually have a Dreamcast,
and I've been holding on ever since because I would like an HDMI hardware modded Dreamcast is like $399.
Oh wow, yeah.
It's just too much. If it was like $250, I'd probably bite.
I really have to look at the games again.
I have some nostalgia for some old Dreamcast stuff, but it's mainly licensed stuff, sports games.
Right. Yeah. NFL.
Yeah. NCAA, Game Breaker.
Yeah.
NBA and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
It's not like for Sonic and Shenmue, which is like what Dreamcast fans are all like. Yeah.
Dude, like, yeah.
Shenmue.
Oh my god.
I don't care about any of those games.
Shenmue 3 was actually the first Shenmue game I ever got into, which was the one that just came out. And I'm like, is this like a good representation of what everybody was excited about? Because like I
played Code Veronica on Dreamcast.
Oh, nice one. Yeah.
Soul Calibur. I think I did Max Payne on Dreamcast. Was there was there a Driver game? Was it like Driver 2 or Driver San Fran?
Probably, yeah, probably a driver game because I definitely think of Crazy Taxi, of course.
They had
Sega GT. Dana says, yeah.
Yeah, as I said, the Sega sports game, Sega GT. They had the Sega, like there was a Sega NBA game. Remember? It had like Allen Iverson. All those old Sega games. Like was it 2K or was it pre 2K? Wasn't the people that did it?
There was 2K.
Were they two? But was the Sega games the 2K ones?
Or just the Sega? Yeah, let's see. Dreamcast.
And then
NFL 2K. Yeah, it was 2K.
Crazy Taxi.
Yeah,
excellent. Of course.
Yeah, it was Sega. It was just exclusive to Dreamcast, so wasn't it? NFL 2K1. Like,
yeah,
that's awesome, dude.
Yes,
like, yeah.
I did.
I think this is one. I think anyway.
I did House of the Living Dead on Dreamcast too.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. We're supposed to get those remakes soon.
Weren't you bringing that up on Shaq and they had no idea what you're talking about, like this light gun game from like early 2000s? And
that probably sounds right. Yeah. They're a little younger than me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Switch is getting remakes. I'm very excited for those. I'm going to buy both of those. The people that did the Panzer, the people that did Panzer Dragoon remakes, they're doing House of the Living Dead 1 too.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, so good, dude. Ryan Turford and I went to a barcade in Toronto. That was super fun.
Yeah, I heard your Halo story.
Paid $5. We went to that, but we also went to a different, like you pay $5, you play our old arcade games.
Oh, that's excellent.
Like the Terminator 2, like light gun game, like RC Pro-Am or whatever it was called, like the driving game, the racing game. Super fun. Yeah.
I went to, there was a mini golf entertainment center that's not far from the house that I discovered.
Yeah.
It has like a grid style racing track with carts.
Yeah.
And I was telling my wife, I was like, I want to take all of us down.
It's the best. Those are the best days.
One day soon.
And we've been in lockdown for so long, I hadn't even thought about like taking the kids to mini golf. They would love that. They would just like their mind. I remember going to mini golf for the first time. Like my mind was blown. Like, what is this giant, like this windmill thing I've got to shoot a thing through? And like it goes in a little tunnel and like pops out the other side. Like
we're doing this weird thing at work where they're reclassifying us. It's a long story. It's really long. But like basically I work for my agency and not the government.
Yeah.
And I always have. So I don't get full government employee like benefits.
Sure.
So the county is basically going to take us over and become county employees.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to be paid out of my time and stuff and I basically start all over.
Oh,
basically,
wow.
like the last 10 years, like just wiped away and I'm a new employee. But
that doesn't sound good, actually.
Is that they're going to pay me for my time that I have.
Well, I guess
cut me a
good.
check, you know. I don't know what else to say. Like, what are you going to do? You can't not do it. You got to like it's either this or you leave. But one of the things
Nintendo fans feel.
They're not going to pay me for my.
You just take it.
They're not. You're right. They're not going to pay me for my sick time. So we might be arranging, you know, because I've been there a long time. This doesn't really apply to most of the employees because they're new. Yeah. But for me, I've been there forever. So we might be arranging like a sick vacation, you know, so I can maybe use some of these hours. And I was thinking of doing this little karting, golfing, arcade trip during that.
That's such a good idea.
Yeah, I might even keep the kids home from school. Like, let's go on a weekday. We'll have the place to ourselves, you know, going like on Tuesday.
That's where you get those brownie points back that you're losing for not letting anybody drive. And
you can't drive unless we're here at the karting ring.
Exactly. We'll see how you do. You blew through that stop sign. You got fender benders. You got all these things. You broke an arm. Like, clearly. Like, Jack was just to prove your point.
On the wheel in the Formula One, Jack was murdering people just left and right. He was just taking all the Formula One drivers out. You know, like you would have thought he was playing Twisted Metal instead of Formula One. I was like, I don't know what you're doing.
Just a little tap on the back corner. Just spin them out. That's great, man. Holy crap. We should do this more often, Donnie. This is fun.
Yeah. No,
kind of meta. I like that there's like a meta space that we can live in.
Oh, God, don't use that term now.
Oh, I know. Damn it.
Sweet Hangs is the new meta podcast.
Oh, my God.
The You, Me, and Capri PSVG Patreons.
Did you
do our club?
Like, trumps this. What club?
What's our club? We gotta have a tag for Forza.
Oh, right? Whatever you want. PSVG, like
I don't care.
Yeah, I'm down with it.
I just don't think club. You, Me, and Capri and PSVG. Like I don't think that's gonna fit.
I don't know if You, Me, Capri is gonna be like. I don't know if that's what we're gonna call it forever.
Oh, okay. Oh, thinking a rebrand. Interesting.
Well, see, this is sort of like the who made it to the end of the show.
You better grab it. You better grab Meta before it's taken. Patreon.com/Meta.
Meta. We'll be the Meta Dads.
The Capriverse. The Meta Dads. Oh my God.
It's so bad.
That's amazing.
So like most of us aren't dads. Like Kato, clearly not a dad.
Just take. You know what? You need to take the mom side of this. That's an untapped market.
Meta moms.
The Nintendo moms.
Yeah. Honestly, I can't believe that like Masson did. I think they were gonna
the Mega Moms. Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good.
Better. Everything's better with alliteration.
Of course.
Well, my name today is play all video games. I'm not going to just play some video games. I'm going to play all
the Capriverse.
Mm-hmm. I want to get my name out of it.
I understand that. Yeah, I wouldn't want to put my name on stuff like that either.
It's it feels narcissistic. It doesn't like, and also like.
I'm pretty sure that everyone that's listening to you say that would disagree with you, but I understand exactly what I understand exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, and they
like,
have. I've expressed this before, and Bobby said the exact same thing. Everybody's like, just like, yeah, like it's cute. And it's like, well, it doesn't say anything about games. Like it says like nothing about what we do, you know. So just thinking about
Turford's Army.
Turford's got a great last name. I like that as a last name.
It's not bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the man on the moose. It could be just the man on the moose. You put a man on the moose.
Do something. I mean, you could always just do much more games.
That's true, dude. That would be amazing. Much games.
So when we were thinking of this, when Play Some Video Games was in its early meta, I legit pitched it to Devin to call it Much More Games just as a spoof on
That's hilarious.
And we, for like a week, we operated as if we were going to do Much More Games.
So good.
We were going to incorporate the Canadian flag and the logo and everything. Like we had plans to do Much More Games, and we just didn't pull the trigger on it.
Much more. I'm taking it.
Turford's Mounties.
And the A will be a maple leaf instead on the logo.
It's good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I thought you would have loved it. Me and it was Dev and I. We were legit because I pitched like 9 different names, and then I was like, we should call it Much More Games, and Dev just died laughing. He was like, dude, oh my God.
There's so much like graphic design that you could have just like gone in and found out like all the design work of Much Music. Like it's very definitive. It's very you could have stolen all of it. And
is Much Music still around?
Yeah, but not in like the city. You really want to go back to like the 90s.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
Kind of like the heyday of like MTV, and it kind of changed as time has gone on. Like, yeah, Much Music, much more music was a second channel that you could get. I love it. That is really good. It's the same thing with like this one. Could have been Jace's Imaginary Podcast.
Right.
Now that we're on Patreon, we can call it whatever we want.
Of course,
that could be that Ryan Turford. Maybe that's the title.
He doesn't have IP rights.
Jace, I don't know. Jace listens.
It's not common. It's not common IP. It's not common trademark.
Jace needs a damn podcast. Perfect time for you to join forces permanently. Yeah,
I've made that offer. Sean wouldn't have me.
That's
Canadians are harsh. I'm joking.
But it gives me things. It gives me things to think about. It does because now you don't have Empire.
Mm-hmm.
You still got that there shack there.
I try to bring my Empire stuff to PSVG as much as possible.
The things coming together.
Shack's been great. I think people are liking it. I think it's been good. Good without me. Better without me.
I don't know. Better. It's different. It's just different.
I appreciate that. I don't know. I listening to it and I'm like, yeah, this is. I think the average Nintendo listener probably likes it a lot more now.
Sure.
Yeah.
It just depends on who you ask, but I
They don't want my Metroid thoughts and my Nintendo Switch Online thoughts on that show.
I'm very greedy. I want and it's so funny. I was actually going to tweet you guys, but I didn't want to make you feel bad about anything. And then you went live.
Look at Dano.
Much more games sounds like the Patreon exclusive podcast.
So
that's exactly why I wrote it down.
Much games, and then the Pants Patreon podcast becomes much more games.
Exactly.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
We're building an empire, ladies and gentlemen.
You guys just wait.
Get BMOX in that logo.
I was sitting down for dude. BMOX is great.
He's the best.
I was sitting down getting ready for some games. I've got to be finishing Far Cry at some point here so that we can fire out a review.
Does it ever end, Sean? It's so long.
I think it potentially is like procedurally generated in some way.
So long. I keep playing. I'm like, how much more of this is there?
It could be like the universe itself that it's expanding, but I haven't ever measured, so I'm not really sure.
It's so
like
Destiny-ish.
That map could actually.
It's like the Hydra. Every time you complete one icon, two more appear.
Destiny-ish. Well, and you talk about this your experience with Destiny, where you're walking around the world and just like shooting guys, and then realizing that I actually wasn't giving you any progress at all. You could have that exact experience in Far Cry 6. You're absolutely right.
I think that's where they want to take it.
Oh yeah, the seeds are sown. Like the framework, you can see it. You can tell. We almost wish that you didn't have that. Was it a leak, or I'm not sure if they actually said it formally,
yeah, it was Schreier said last year that they wanted to do a live service thing with.
You almost wish that you didn't, like.
And I can see it now, like strikes, raids, you know, like the things, limited time events. I can see it.
It makes sense, and it probably is where they should take it. It's just unfortunate that there are certain people who would hate that a lot. You know.
Yeah.
But
I'm going to remain open-minded to it until I hate it.
Could be. It could be your gateway.
It might be, and that's what I'm hoping it. Yeah, I'm hoping it might be.
It could be.
Because if I can still play it solo and single player like you can in Destiny, I might like it. I actually might like it.
Well, and that's I commented on the Xbox Drive this week about I'm curious on Halo to see how they can still tell the story that everybody says is so important to their Halo experience.
I remember those thoughts. I love your thoughts about Battle Royale, but I wanted to ask you, do you I know you guys I think danced around it, but I don't think so. Like, I took away from the trailer the same thing I took away from the gameplay snippet a year ago. I was like, it looks like Far Cry. Yeah. And when I said that, I remember 343, because a lot of people said it last year, and 343 was like, it's definitely not like Far Cry.
Yeah.
And then they showed it again, it's like, but it definitely looks a lot like Far Cry. Like, it looks like Far Cry. You know, like, obviously you're doing different things and whatnot, but like the loop of the game looks like Far Cry.
Yeah.
Was that your take? Do you think that's what it is?
I think so. And what I think though is that once people kind of make that connection, they think that they say that it is Far Cry, and it's like it's not.
Oh really yeah, no. You're gonna be doing different stuff. You have different missions. I mean, everything's in the minutia is all in the details. I'm talking about.
I agree.
Open world, the loop, the exploration, like the experience of what you're doing, would be very Far Cry-ish.
Definitely.
That actually excites me because I feel like for once I know what the fuck I'm doing.
Well, and I was trying to express this on the show as well, but like, where else are shooters supposed to go? You know, like you have Doom Eternal, which is probably at like the pinnacle of where shooters can go. You know, as far as the traditional model of you have level 1, you have level 2, you have level 3. It's
linear, keep moving forward.
You get off the elevator.
And I think that's what Halo. I mean, Halo has always been open, but like open linear. Like you get
like there's an endpoint.
You get an arena that you can mess around in, and then you go forward.
And that was expanding beyond what Doom and Quake and everything had done before that.
Correct.
That was why everybody was so excited about it. And the interesting thing
and like with Halo 4, the last one that I played, the one I played the most, my favorite one, felt more linear than than maybe even like Halo 1. Like Halo 1, I definitely remember driving around and having like really big, expansive things, like looking up there and going around. And Halo 4, I feel like I just kept going forward. Just keep moving forward.
Yeah. And then Halo 5, like you could see them trying to, they've been exploring, and you just don't do it with like a mainline Halo game, but they were trying to figure out, okay, we don't want to do this. We don't want to have like start point, end point, start point. So they had like these levels that you wander around and find intel and talk to people and like non-combat kind of levels. It's like, that wasn't really the answer either. So if not the old school stuff, then how are first person shooters supposed to do something new? And it's just amazing that they landed in Far Cry, which has been doing this for generations.
It's a real easy way. I mean, they sold 25 million of 5. They said Far Cry 6 is off and running. You know, like it's popular.
Yeah.
For all the hate that the media loves against it, people like it. A lot of people like it. If they had 25 million people buy Halo, Xbox would be ecstatic.
Right.
They'd be through the moon.
I know.
They're like, this is amazing.
I mean, it's not even, dude, even the battle pass and everything that they've got going on, this thing is going to be gigantic.
Yeah.
Like, it just got to work. It just has, the servers got to work.
Was it Ryan's idea of splitting Battle Royale off into like a side Halo thing?
That's how I expect
like a spin-off? That's a great idea. Because I always felt like after Master Chief Collection that they'd want to put it all like in one thing. You load up the Halo experience and you can go off into different things. But I actually know I love it. Yeah, this is Halo Battle Royale.
Yep.
And you put it on PC and it's crossplay and it's its own separate thing. I mean, put it on damn Switch if they could. Like if they could get it down.
You have to think about like the roadmap for this game. You know, with Master Chief Collection, they kind of created their own roadmap of the games that they're going to add on for PC and all the different things, all the additions. Halo Infinite is it. Like, this is the game that we're going to have for Halo for probably somewhere between 5 and 10 years or something like that. So what are they going to do? They can't just like add season passes. That's not going to keep people around. They're going to have to do something else. And I do think Battle Royale is one of those things. Like
we talked about, like with Far Cry possibly going live service. I mean, if that's like what they're thinking about and they're looking at Far Cry and Destiny as kind of like examples.
Yeah, expansion.
It makes sense.
And
they can drop little expansions, story bits and stuff, every 3 or 4 years or so.
Yep. This story that we're going to be looking at is the Banished. That'll be one of the things. Like they could do a flood thing, and that will probably make people happy. But the flood
could go to a whole new Halo ring in a couple years, just like reskin the whole thing,
which would be great. Actually, it's funny because we're saying it like this is probably what's going to happen.
Special events, Halloween events, and stuff like that.
That would be great. Yeah. And I mean, dude, like Tetris 99 is the pinnacle for me. Like I got my Metroid theme last night, and I probably won't play Tetris 99 again until the next one comes out, but whatever. I'm super happy with it. And I want that with my Halo.
Battle Royale mode, if done separate, feels weird because that's usually if multiplayer isn't already free. I don't think I quite follow. Isn't multiplayer free already?
So he's saying the Battle Royale, for like, I think drawing comparisons to like Call of Duty, where you're paying for traditional Call of Duty multiplayer team for
as a part of a package. But you're not. Like, you can just download Warzone whenever.
Well, that's what he's saying. So there's a paid version of multiplayer, and then there's a free version. He's saying this might feel weird because everything is free.
Oh,
I don't think that makes it weird at all. I actually think that it makes you look at Call of Duty and go like, what are you doing over there? Like, why it makes Halo look like a way better offering. The entire multiplayer suite is free, and you got to pay for Call of Duty. It makes you go like,
especially like you would think if they did Battle Royale that they could possibly even downscale it, maybe in classic stuff, like they could use some of like their Halo stuff. That's what I'm wondering, like if they could put it on other platforms, get it on obviously support PC, but like if we do a native version on Steam Deck, could you possibly like put it on Switch, like
or Forge? I wonder.
Well, the Forge thing, like with I'm not the Halo person, but like the Forge thing, it's all like user generated and created.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, could somebody create either
I'm
a
sure
full
they
Battle
could,
Royale
but will
or
it
like
ever take off like a promoted app from Microsoft?
Well, do they need it though? Maybe they're looking at that as a distraction, but you could have like some sort of thing that's just built into the wheel of user created stuff that you can go through, and like this is the one that everybody decides. Kind of like what was it? Team Fortress was a mod. Before it became a thing. Like I could see that being where it starts. They give everybody.
I think I've been in the minority camp that I've been expecting and wanting Halo to have Battle Royale the whole time.
Yeah.
And every time I've said it, I think Elaine, other Halo fans I've talked to, they're all like, it doesn't need to be like everything else. And I'm like, I kind of think it does. If it wants to be as popular like all these other shooters, then I think you have to appeal to what people are playing.
Yeah, it's interesting because how do you? So that I agree with you, but then the other side of it is, it's just so easy to be different in that if when you think free multiplayer, you think Battle Royale. This is different. This is not that.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I'm only looking at it from my own eyes, like just selfishly, right? I'm never going to play Big Team Battle. It's just never going to happen. I don't play it. I never have. But if there was a Halo Battle Royale, I would play it.
Yeah.
Because I've played it on Fortnite and I understand it, and I've played Warzone, and I have to imagine that there's way more people like that than the other way around. And I'm not saying that everybody's like me, and not at all. I'm just saying based on the popularity of these other things, that it stands reason that the numbers, that the numbers are in my favor on that one. Like if I'm thinking that, obviously there's got to be other people thinking that too.
And you know that there's versions of the battle royale sitting around there somewhere, like they're playtesting it. Or
yeah, they've definitely thought about it. It's not like they're like just anti against it. I don't think that's it at all.
Somebody should tell the story of like battle royales. Like it's actually like kind of ongoing history that's happening right in front of our eyes. Like it wasn't that long ago that battle royale wasn't a thing. And it kind of came up in some scrappy, H1Z when Dano and I were chatting about this. And then PUBG, Fortnite stole it. And then Fortnite kind of did the thing where they were going to throw real money at it, and everybody else like kind of tried to do a battle royale, but it couldn't meet like the investment that Epic was putting into Fortnite. And Apex kind of hit some magic, which was cool. But then Call of Duty comes in with Call of Duty money. And it's like they nailed it. And I think about that when I think about Call of Duty money doing a battle royale, I have to think about Halo money creating a battle royale. And they would do it right. They wouldn't do it like Battlefield. Like
correct. No, I agree with you.
So from that perspective, when I think about it in that way, how would you not want that? Throw all the money and investment in play testing and weapons and fun that you have in the sandbox that is Halo. Of course that would be fun. I'm not denying that at all. So, but I do think that they can save it. I don't think they need it right now.
I agree with you.
I think Halo right from day one is going to be gigantic.
I'm excited to be excited for Halo again, Sean.
Yeah.
Dying Light's out of the way. I can just focus on playing Halo.
Seriously.
I'll jump into the campaign and I'll play.
Yep.
And I hope it's good.
Dying Light's going to crush it too.
If it's Far Cry, dude,
I hope so.
I'm going to fucking love it. Like, you see, I've done nothing but play Far Cry for a month and I'm not even remotely like tired of it.
Yeah.
Like every day I log in and it's almost like I've almost gotten into a routine where I'm not trying to beat it like before something else comes. It's honestly, I'm looking at it and I know this is a hard comparison to draw, but I'm looking at it in my mind maybe like someone like Dev looks at Destiny. It's like I log into Far Cry, I do my Bandito operations, I grab a fort or two, I grab a hidden secret, and then I bounce and I'm gonna go do something else. And I just kind of keep doing it every day or so.
My biggest sort of knock against Far Cry is, and I hate doing this because I don't like knocking a game for something that it's not, but it's missing the loot loop of like a Diablo or Destiny or something like that. Like I don't really care to get new stuff. And if it had that, then
they're trying. They tried.
Totally. Yeah.
Right. They gave you all the customizations and everything, but the problem is even with their ammo types and their weapon weaknesses and resistances, you only need like 2 or 3 guns in your set.
Totally. Yeah.
Even with the supers and the resolver weapons, like there's just only so many cool ones that you really care about.
Yep.
Like I basically play with 5 weapons.
Yep.
Every one of my bows are just
This is why Zelda broke your weapons. They just exploded them.
I've brought that up for years. And every time somebody yells at me about it, I always grab one game that has a bajillion weapons and I bring it up to them. Like I always like throw it right back in their face.
It's a legitimate point, but it's also in the face of also a legitimate point, which is, man, that's a pain in the ass.
Can be. Like, it's one of those things where it always comes back to me. Like I think everybody that liked Zelda had that moment where they ran out of something and they had to use what they could find. Yeah. And they thought that moment was thrilling. Yeah. And then somebody else had that same moment happen and they thought that moment sucked. Yep. And I think that's where you come off on that debate. Like if you thought throwing rocks and picking up a pitchfork was lame, then you probably not into it. But if you were like, oh shit, what do I got to do now? Like run away, or like you MacGyvered your way out of it, you probably thought it was awesome.
Or using up like that great weapon that you've got. You're like, I don't want to be using this right now, but like I kind of don't have. I've been saving this thing.
Or like if you again MacGyvered your way, like what if you lit the grass on fire? Like what if you thought outside the box, like you so can in that damn game?
And that's really what it's.
And that's what it's intended to do. It's intended to make you organically have that moment. They're trying to push you into that moment without you knowing. Yeah, that's the whole point. It's there.
If only you could change Link's hair to be more like MacGyver's hair.
Yep.
Just straight up mullet. What was his name? Angus something? I can't remember.
That I don't know.
Name. Yeah.
That I
might have been Angus. That might have been MacGyver's first name. Might have been Angus.
I was excited for I wish they'd shown a little bit more, I think, from the campaign. I thought the game looked good. It definitely looks, more detailed, more depth and stuff like that.
Yeah, of course.
But not like new. It looks like it would have looked like last time we saw it, more or less. Just better. It's like a glow up, better version of what we saw last time.
Yep. I'm glad somebody found Craig. They even did like the same thing. Like they didn't hide around it. They're going to do the grapple. They're going to punch the dude in the face.
I'm telling you, Battle Royale with a Craig skin.
Oh my god, it would
I would have
crush.
bought the shit out of that.
I'll buy it at a high price.
Buy the season pass, get the
Oh my
exclusive
God.
Craig skin.
Yes. Yes. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, there's battle passes already, and they don't even need a battle royale for that. So he'll be there. He'll be
I
there.
want the
I'm sure of
OG
it.
Craig skin, not the new
Pre-order for your Craig.
Craig. Right?
Yeah.
That'd have been good.
stuff,
Craig
man.
edition.
Oh my gosh.
What if they did an entire expansion just like a story? On Craig?
A horde mode with Craig's coming after you.
No. I'm talking like a whole single player story campaign about Craig.
About Craig?
About how Craig comes to be Craig. Like, you puts you in the shoes of Craig.
Sign up Telltale for this. Make choices. Craig will remember that.
Dude, the sad part is if they did that, it would be like really popular. If you leaned into the meme, you'd have 8 million people would play.
That's Xbox basically in the last like 3 years. Lean into the meme.
They're more successful when they do it.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
I forgot
don't be
about the
embarrassed.
fridge. I can't wait till we get this fucking
We'll
fridge.
get in the fridge. I'm gonna have it right here.
I'm gonna put mine right next to Chucky.
Honestly, they should make a PC that looks like a big Xbox. They should
I
make a
have
tower.
wanted an Xbox branded gaming laptop forever.
Oh yeah.
That is something
actually
I've
can't
wanted
believe
for
it's
the
a thing.
longest time. I want an
It'll
Xbox brand. I want to turn it on. I want it to glow green. I want Xbox stuff on it. I want Xbox boot sounds. I've never understood why we don't have it.
It'll come. I'm sure of it.
Just call it a Game Pass machine.
Just call it game. Like e-machines.
Buy the hell out of it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We got to go, Sean. It's 2
gotta
hours,
go.
man. I know we got to go.
Yeah. Wife is otherwise nobody will be here to watch the kids.
I got to go figure out dinner, and my Buckeyes are about to take off. So
You didn't eat your last little bit of pizza.
sitting right here.
Look at you. I could have vamped for a minute.
No, I'm not going to sit here and chomp into the
Hop,
microphone.
hop, hop. You can mute your
Yeah.
mic. Okay. The end.
It's been a blast. Thank you, Sean. It's always
Goodbye.
fun hanging out with you. Thanks for folks that
We did
come
it.
in and hang out with us. We hope you liked it.
Important.
Yep. We'll catch you next month on Turkey Day.
Bye-bye. Oh yeah. The real one.
Happy trick-or-treating.